till I die. Spurs die hard. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs die hard. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs die hard. Tottenham till I die.
Hello and welcome to the regular edition, Tuesday edition of Spurs Darts TTID, Tottenham Till I Die. Tonight, we're going to have a little review of the squad and where we need to improve. I think most of us know where we need to improve, but we're going to talk about it and look at players that we may even ship out. I personally don't see us shipping out too many or bringing in too many, but I'll see what my guests think on that. There are some transfer rumours and all that. And we talk about Frank's record so far as well, which needs a discussion. So without further ado, I welcome back Eugene, a good friend of the show. How are you, Eugene?
I'm good. Good to be on, Adrian. Haven't been on for a while, so always a pleasure.
Yeah, and Gary, who's got his own project, Spurs Up, and you'll have to get the link up, Gary, because I've been remiss. I forgot to put it up. Right, so, yeah, just put it in the comments, right? Yeah, so, Gary, how are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me again, mate. Excited for Christmas. Christmas Eve now, isn't it? And then tomorrow, some time with the family. Bit of football managers. We were talking before we came on here, and yeah, excited for Christmas. Looking forward to the game on Sunday too, and chatting all things Tottenham, really.
Yeah. Yes, season greetings to you all. Hang on, I've got something. Just got to click this on. Right, that's sorted. Right, so let's get into it. This is the squad. I haven't put kids in here because I've gone with 25, right? So when you look at this squad, Eugene, we know we're desperate in certain positions, but who do you actually see us getting rid of? We'll talk about the summer as well. So if it's now in January, if we're going to shift anyone, how many do you think we could possibly shift? It looks like we need every man in the lifeboats at the moment. Or how many do you think we'll shift in the summer?
Well, I know in January we probably are not going to sell anyone, especially the way we do business in the summer. I mean, if it'd be up to me, I would ship probably half of the squad. However, again, given that we can never sell players, I think maybe one or two. To me, I think it's clear that the squad is not good enough. So honestly, I would ship off half the squad. But
Well,
again, our track record is terrible.
Just on that, what we have seen Frank do, we've seen him play Burwell and Graham quite a few games now. Obviously likes the pair of them more than Sarr even, right? And we know Moani, we've bought money, he's staying. So those three are definitely staying. But then you get down to Bentancur, who signed a contract, and Paulina. Do you think there's a danger of Paulina going in the summer?
I'm torn. I was really excited when we signed him. He's, the six we've been missing for a long time. However, after a very strong start, he's slowing down, and Frank doesn't play him as much. So I'm not sure if we're gonna actually make the deal permanent. I think he'd make an excellent squad option, but I'm not sure if he's good enough to start for us game in and game out. So that one I'm on the fence with. But as far as Bentancur, for me, I said from day one, re-signing him was a big mistake. I'm not a fan. He's just not good enough for us. So, I mean, I would ship him out. And Sarr, I've been pleased with the way he progressed last season, this season, but again, doesn't look like Frank fancies him after the first couple of games. And I don't think he's making enough improvement, especially now with Gray getting some playing time, in the 6/8. I think Sar and Bentancur can be shipped out if there is a buyer.
Gary, do you think we'll keep Paulina in the summer?
I think I think it's a 50-50. I think if you'd have asked me this maybe 3 or 4 games into the season, I'd have been like, yes, let's get him now. But emergence of Archie Gray, I think is probably the better option in there. I think he's probably the long-term option in there. It does depend on the money and essentially the player they want beside them. We need a ball progressing midfielder. When I saw us potentially going for Morgan Gibbs-White, I saw him as in that double pivot, not as a number 10, but in that double pivot. We can play like a quarterback and he can progress the ball, he can spray the ball right and left and we can progress the ball. And then he's got someone next to him that's a bit of a nasty player in the sense that he can win a tackle, retain the ball, shift it on quicker. I think Polinia can do that. I'm just not too sure to the consistency because I think he's dropped off a lot. But unfortunately, I think most of the players have dropped off, and he's not just one of them. So I think it comes down to price, really. If they're prepared to drop the price right down, and I'm probably with Eugene as well, I'm not sure Bentancur really is a long-term midfielder for us. So I'm a bit 50-50 still, actually. Had I not have seen that first few weeks of him, I'd probably have said no. But I think there's definitely a player there. I just think he needs to have a running mate next to him that complements him, and I don't think we've quite found that yet.
Yeah, I think Bentancur's I like the player, but I think he's playing within himself. If we had the Bentancur pre-ACL injury, when he would drive us up the pitch, then I'd be okay. With Polinia, my gut instinct is we're not going to keep him. If we've got to find room in the squad, if we're bringing players in, if it's a one in, one out basis, we've got to find room in the squad, haven't we? I also think Sar's probably under threat as well. Because if you're going to have to make room in midfield, Basuma will go. Like, he's just been a liability. But I think Sar's under threat as well. But as Bentancur signed his contract, I think he'll actually stay. But, yeah. Go on, Eugene. Go on.
No, I'm saying I agree with Gary. I was about to say the same thing. Polinia, I think we can utilize him in some games when we play against good attacking teams, like City, Liverpool. I think he can do a job for us. So if we can get him for 15 or 20 million, he might be a good squad option. But my issue is that him and Bentancur in a double pivot, it doesn't work. So we need a top 8. And if we do have an 8 who can actually do something with the ball and help out in attack, Polinia might be able to do a job. However, given the way things are right now with him and Bentancur, they're not a good fit with each other. And Bentancur, we keep talking about him pre-ACL injury. That was like 3-4 years ago. I think at this point, it's clear that he's just not good enough for us to start.
It's consistency, like with a lot of the players, Eugene. They have one good game, then they fall off, they fall away.
He just doesn't, and again, I'm not sure if it's Frank's system, but he just doesn't offer us what we need. There's a huge gap between him and Simmons, for example, in the number 10. He passes the ball sideways and backwards. I think we're still dead last in through balls attempted and completed. We need an 8 who can push the ball like Bergvall does, but Bergvall, he's not a great passer yet. He doesn't pass the ball well yet. So we need somebody like Morgan Gibbs-White, for example, who can take that ball, who can push it, who can find the right pass. Bentancur just takes it. He slows down the game. We don't do any counters. It's very frustrating to watch. So we definitely need a top 8 next to whoever the 6 is.
Gary, I wonder if we could get
Maddison could be that guy that is next to them, but it depends on what type of Maddison we're going to get back. I appreciate he's a number 10 traditionally, but he could be that guy that in the middle can move and progress the ball quite well. But I'd be interested to see what type of player he is when he comes back from the injury, because this is a very serious injury. So it could be nothing of a player, but he could come back strong. So it just depends on a lot of things and a lot of factors. And with Bergvall for me would be a perfect partner. My issue with Bergvall, I don't think he really has any positional sense. Kind of just moves out of position a hell of a lot. And if you're in the stadium watching him live, I was always taught when I was analysing games, you spend the first 10 minutes just watching, just watch the players, and then you spend the next 20 minutes checking the setup, defensive structure and offensive structure. And a lot of times I struggle to understand what position he's playing because he's just all over the place. And as a double pivot, I don't think he would quite work there. I'd want him to, but I'm not sure positionally he's quite there. Where I think Maddison could. Just depends on what type of Maddison we get. It's a really difficult one because he is a good player.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good point you raise, Eugene. It's a good point that Gary raises because in the game, he started on the left and against Liverpool. And then in the second half, he was breaking on the right-hand side, making charging runs. And we love the charging runs. That's and the way he can just sort of adjust his body to one side, then slip past the player. He's not sort of a dribbler. He's more dynamic going forward to beat a player like. But I mean, we all love him. I mean, him and Gray. I mean, I love Archie Gray as well. I know a lot of people criticise him, but I watch Gray at Leeds. I mean, that's it. But moving on to a player I'm not particularly keen on, who's having a good season, Richarlison, Gary. Now, with our striker issues, without Solanke coming back, I don't see us getting rid of him in January, but it could happen.
I mean, if we'd have sat in a podcast maybe a couple of years ago, 5 years ago, saying and said we're going to have Brazil's number 9 up front, we think, blimey, we're going to win the Premier League, the Champions League, we're everything, and the consistency in him is just so poor. He's such a frustrating player. However, he looks so fit at the moment, as in physically. This is the fittest I think I've ever seen him, and he's producing at the moment. He's scoring them goals. The hardest thing in football is to score goals, and he's doing it. Outside of him, it's our centre-back scoring. Nobody else is. So you've got to give him credit there. He isn't the long-term answer, but he is the answer that we've got at the moment. And fair play to him. He's working most of the time. And on Saturday, I sit in front of the media section, and so they warm up pretty much in front of me. He didn't go back into the dugout for about 35 minutes. He was itching to get on that pitch. And to be honest, they're the type of players we need. We need that type of attitude. And I get that he's not the greatest of players, and I give him loads of stick. As you know, I used to be a striker myself, and I find some of the things that are so frustrating. But when he's producing at the moment, and we need it because we would struggle without it. Is he long term for us? Absolutely not, unfortunately. But he'll be here for the rest of the season, I'm sure, and we'll see where things go in the summer. It just does come down to the Lewis family, Vivian and Charles, whether they want to go deeper into those back pockets, because it's going to take some serious money for us to get a striker that's going to come in and hit the ground running. Unfortunately, we've been very blessed with arguably one of the greatest strikers to ever play football for so long that I think everybody to us is kind of second rate at the moment, and we need to kind of get the next generation through before we start not thinking of, well, he's not Harry Kane, is he? You know.
Eugene, Richie, your take?
In all my years supporting Spurs, it's 15, 16 years, he's probably one of my, if not the least favorite player. Like, I love his passion. I love his personality. He would make a great social media manager. Like, I love that he loves to put on a shirt and play for the badge and the passion. However, as a footballer, he is just shocking. Yes, he scores goals, and he goes on these purple patches. However, I mean, we cannot, as Gary said, in January, I don't think we're going to bring in a striker, so obviously we cannot sell him. However, even for next season in the summer, he's got to go. Like he scores some goals, however, he cannot control the ball. He cannot link up play. His first touch is terrible. Even the headers that he's supposed to be good at, for every five that he misses, or for every one that he scores, he misses five. I remember the one game that I went to last season when I came to London for the game with my son, the Forest game. He had like five open headers and he scored on one of them. And it was so frustrating to see. So obviously, with Solanke's injury, whatever that might be, we can sell Richarlison. And Moani seems like he's not hitting his stride and he might be better on the left. So this season, we have to keep him. However, in the summer, I want to see him gone, whether it's
Yeah.
Saudi or I don't know
Mm.
where. I don't know who would pay for him, but we got to cut our losses and let him go.
E-
We need
Even for
somebody
the
who
time,
can play football.
even with the time that you two have spent watching Spurs, I mean, I've seen so many strikers at this club that are better than Charleston. You know, I mean, he's got to be one of the worst as it happens. He's in a great streak of form. I think he's got something like 17, 18 goals in 25 games in all comps or something like that. I mean, he's in a hot streak. But no, he's not for me. But we're stuck. We brought this on ourselves, though, with a transfer policy. And that, I mean, we can't get rid of him. Slanky will probably be back in January. We don't know what's going to happen with Moani, and I like Moani. I think he's the best striker at the club. But will we keep him? Well, that's down to the player as well, and it all depends what PSG want to do and whether Juventus come knocking for him again. But they haven't got no money, so unless they sell first. So yeah.
I mean, it's funny what Gary said, when we got the Brazil's number 9 before the World Cup for, I'm sure Levy thought for PR purposes, we're going to get all that sponsorships, but this just shows you the state of the Brazilian team. I used to watch Romario, Bebeto, like world-class players
Oh
with
no,
flair. And
oh
now
no.
Richarlison, there's no way you can tell me he's from Brazil. He's from Chile or Bolivia. How can a Brazilian not be able to control the ball, not be able to just do anything? It's shocking to me. It just shows you the state of football nowadays. It's depressing, to be honest.
Yeah. So I think we can safely say that Davies is only a stopgap. They'll be gone, Gary. Baffling why he was brought on as a substitute against Forest and Paulina. That wasn't exactly an attack-minded way to go, was it? Right. So he got a good reception the other time when he come on, which is fair play. He's been at a club about 11 years. He's been a good servant.
Yeah, he deserves that. He deserved the reception he got. He got it at home as well when Sonny came back, and then all of a sudden Ben Davies came on, which I thought was interesting. But he got the reception he deserved. He's been a great servant for us, and fair play to him. I think probably maybe going out to the MLS or going down into the lower leagues might be something for him moving forward. I just think it's time that he does move on. He's not really helping us at the moment. But he's a squad player and he's got a left foot, and we're desperately in need of people with a left foot at this football club in defensive areas anyway.
I'm not very forgiving when. Right, okay, let's talk about a player I want out the club as well. Basuma, Eugene. He's away in our African Nations Cup. These players get fit for their country, don't they?
I forgot he was even on the team other than the balloon news every now and then. So yeah, he's definitely gone. When I heard a couple of months ago, last month, that we wanted to extend him, maybe to keep his value, I was like, what are we doing? This is typical Spurs. Just give somebody a new contract like with Bentancur and then not being able to sell him. Big clubs, they let the players that they don't want go on a free. Just let him go. We don't need him. He's a bad apple, and when he's on his best behavior, he's not good enough. Just let him go. So
Gary, your take on Biss? I mean, a lot of talent there.
There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent in him. I was excited when we got him. I thought we've seen a handful of games that at his best, at acceptable rate, and maybe a couple at his best. And I was really excited for him when we got him from Brighton. I thought he was a great player for Brighton. just disciplinary, isn't it? You know, he was doing it at Brighton. He came to Tottenham, started doing it. Just those disciplinary issues. There's clearly seems to be some maybe mental health that he's going through. So I hope that for him and his family, he gets through that. But I think his time is up at the club. I get why they've extended it because they want to see a value and some money back. However, but it might just be worth just cutting our ties, to be honest, because I don't see anybody paying any type of money for him realistically, and it might be we'll end up cutting ties with him anyway. But I don't expect him to play or even be in the squad again.
I mean, Romero takes criticism for disciplinary record, but that season, first 10 games under Ange, unbeaten, 8 wins, 2 draws. And then Basuma had 3 suspensions in that season before going away for his national side. 3 suspensions. And we all remember like the sending off for the simulation away at Luton after he was already on a yellow. It was a good job like VDV scored and Decky held out the game for us. Like, yeah, so I want him gone, no excuse. I did a little post on our YouTube page. I said, I don't want to come across as being callous. Now he's coming out with excuses that he's had issues that anyone hang about. This is the second time you've done this, right? You've let the club down and everyone down. So, nah, not for me. I don't want to see him wear a shirt again, personally. I don't want to see him back in the team, hold someone else back, personally. Like,
and you know what is, Adrian and Gary? I think nowadays we see it with a lot of footballers, especially foreign footballers. For a lot, it's just a job. I don't think he enjoys the game. It's just a job for him. So now he got paid. I just don't think he has the passion for the game. And we see it with like Ndombele was the same way. There are many others where for them, they're good at football. It's their job. However, just once they get paid, the passion isn't there. And with him, I just don't see the passion for the game. So yeah, time to go.
Let's talk about Odobert, Gary. I mean, he got in the Champions League squad at the expense of Tell, because Tell would have been in there if we known what was going to happen with Solanke, but his injuries. But do you like this player? He's supposed to be the most skillful player at the club, and Maddison's supposed to be the second most, what I heard, right? But,
don't dislike him. I think he's coming on. He's progressing. I think he's progressing at the rate that perhaps we need. And he's certainly not covered the areas that we're desperate need of, which is that left-hand side. He does well in spells. I couldn't say to you that I think he's going to change a game. He did actually against Manchester United, perhaps. However, I don't see that as a consistency.
And against Elfsberg, one of the European sides, he played really well, I think.
Yeah, but I think that's like a couple of games, really, isn't it? And I think maybe he needs to go out on loan and get some more minutes, some regular minutes. Personally, I'd rather see Matisse Tell stay and be the one playing. I think it'd be one or the other that will end up going on loan in January. I'd like Odobert. I think he's a little bit lightweight as well. And again, there's this consistent cutting in on that right-hand side that I think causes us problems, especially when we've got Jed Spence behind him. Then we've got 2 players effectively doing the same thing and then taking up the same areas on the pitch and not getting the ball in the box. But he's progressing. He's not progressing amazingly quickly, but I think he's someone we should be keeping around at least for another season just to see on that progression.
Would you loan him out, Eugene?
I mean, it depends. I mean, our loans don't usually work out. We just don't do a good job loaning players to teams that can improve them. I mean, we've seen those issues with, with Donnelly and other kids. I'm torn with Odobert. I think he has talent, and actually, I rate him more than I do Tell, especially on the left-hand side, since he's more of a traditional winger. He can take his man on, whereas Tell is more of an inside forward / a 9. I'm not sure if Tell does enough for us on the left. So with Odobert, I could actually see improvement, but on one hand, he's not good enough to start for us right now. He needs a year or 2. But on the other hand, the way Frank used him, like, I think he needs a run of games, because when he played a couple of games, he actually looked pretty decent. And I saw him make some improvements, and now he's on the bench again. So I think Frank should just, pick a lineup and stay with that lineup, especially if it's the kids. So I would give him a run out on the left for maybe 5, 6 games and see if he makes those improvements. Because I do think he's going to be a decent player for us. Is he ready right now? No. However, given where we're in the league and given kind of our options, I want to see him on the left for 5, 6 games in a row.
He's doing a bit of a kudos for me at the moment. I mean, when I've seen him play, he gets into good positions, wide in space, carries the ball well. You can tell he's got that dribbling ability, and he can sort of like slip that past one man. He's not slow, and then he gets like within the final 8 yards from the corner line, byline, and you think, oh, he's going to take the player on because he's got the pace, and he doesn't. And he turns back and he passes it back, and that's frustrating. And you think, I mean, Vincent Kompany raved about him when he was at Burnley because he came from the PSG academy, So I think there's a player there, but West Tottenham Hotspur are like a training school at the moment, aren't we? You know what I mean? Like,
we've got a lot of players that the potential is there. We just got to get this potential out, and we don't traditionally have managers that are willing to get that potential out of them, or really have the time to do it, because we're a very demanding fan base. But I'm not sure if the time is there for him.
When we've got a lot of developing players, Eugene, we've got little young kids that have stepped up. Bergvall has stepped up. VDV's added a dimension to his game. He's not young. He's not old, right? But Gray's started to show in midfield what fans didn't know what he had in midfield. They haven't watched him as much as I have in the past. But in the past, being a long-suffering Spurs fan for many decades, when you brought a youngster in, you brought him, like you alluded to, virtually, you brought him into a settled side. Basically, 10 of the players or 9 of the players were there. You brought one in. You didn't throw in like 4 youngsters or 5 like we've done. I mean, we're still a very young side.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree 1,000%. However, I think the club needs to make a decision. When Thomas Frank came in, right, everybody said he's a good coach. He improves players, right? So if that's actually who he is, and given our form in the league, that we're not going to make top 4, top 5. So for me personally, instead of watching Pellegrini and Bentancur play and us, hold out for 0-0s or 1-0 losses, I would rather watch the kids play this season, so we know who's good enough and who's not good enough for the next season. For example, like I agree with the guys. I think Bergvall is all over the place, and I think he has the same issue as Odebert, where they do have skills. I can see them; they can be good. They just need more experience and more awareness. And I think they will improve their positional awareness and decision making with more playing time. So for me personally, if we keep Frank, and if the club should decide, are we going all in January and trying to make Europe and bring in 2-3 starters? But if not, I don't want to see 30-year-olds play in March, right? So we need to pick a direction. And I don't mind watching Bergvall, Gray, and Odebert and Tell play in March if we don't bring in top players in January.
Yeah, Spence and Bergvall caught my eye in that Liverpool game. Porro again, though, Gary. I mean, like, he's played about 1 million games. At times, I think he just looks knackered. He's
needs a rest, really.
And all that. It's just ain't there, is it?
No, he needs a rest. He can't keep playing and demanding every 3 games. Pedro Porro that we know that's in there. I think, again, it comes down to the recruitment issue on that left-hand side, especially at left back, with Doggy's out injured. We need somebody, and we need 2 players in each position for us to compete on all fronts. And I think Jed Spence and Pedro Porro on the right would be great, and then Doggy and one other on the left would be tremendous. And unfortunately, at the moment, as similar to last year, that back line is being asked to do a lot of work, and this time it's with our starters, whereas last year it was with. Well, sometimes we just had anyone we could throw in, didn't we, at centre back? Yeah, I feel a little bit for Pedro. He's a great player, though. I did hear that they were trying to potentially extend his contract, which I think is a good move. He's clearly very passionate about the club. Some fans love him. Some fans are sort of 50-50 with him, but I think he's an excellent player. But yeah, just we need additional cover. And again, the ownership left our manager light going into a season. But it's that's the story of Tottenham for the last sort of 10 years, really.
Eugene, would you loan Tell out or keep him at the club?
I'm sorry. Who?
Tell Roma, but Roma are always linked with us. But
Tell. So just one thing on Porro, since we talked about it. Like, I loved until this season. Porro I thought he'd make a great captain. However, like this season, the way he was going at the fans after a couple of games, and just I don't know about him. He was always poor defensively. However, in attack, he always could put in a cross. He was our best passer, second best passer. This season in attack, I don't know what happened to him. His crossing has been terrible. He's just not as good. I just don't know. Like, he'd be a great wing back in Conte's system, right? In the back three, back five, the way we play. I'm just not sure if we utilize his best assets. And so far, I'm down on Porro. As far as Tal goes, not a huge fan. Again, I would rather see him play than Richarlison, because with Richarlison, we know who he is. With Tal, I want to see if he's got a future for us. So I want to, like with Odegaard, I want to see him play 5, 6, 7 games on the trot, so we know if he can actually do it. I'm not sold on him, since clubs like Bayern, they don't let their best youngsters go. When we played a friendly against them, we saw their youngsters who destroyed us. They were really, really good. Tell, compared to them, isn't on that level. Can he be a good player? Perhaps. Is he good enough to play for us right now? No. However, again, if this is a throwaway season, I want to actually see him in games and see if he can be a player for us long term. Right now, I'm not sure.
I think he's got a great attitude, one thing about him, but I think if he's going to get a chance in the team, it's going to be either in the FA Cup against Villa at home or after we qualify for the Champions League, because we virtually only need a point. What's your take on Toa, Gary?
Yeah, I like him in good attitude. I think he's got a very high ceiling. I like the fact that he can play on the left and through the middle. And I think that's kind of where I am at with, if it's Odegaard or Tell, which one's going out on loan. I'd probably let Odegaard go, just because Tell's got the ability to cover multiple positions. I like him. I think there's a very high ceiling there. And again, he needs a run of games, and just not sure where he's going to get them. So don't know if Thomas Frank's a big fan of his, which again makes me question why he signed off on a £45 million signing for him. Because if you're not a fan of him, and I've got no interest in signing him, that £45 million could have been used very well elsewhere. We could have probably got the Morgan Gibbs-White deal done straight away without all this hoo-ha and things like that. So there's definitely something. We all know that the recruitment at the football club has been awful since, Poch really. We've tried to replicate the things that we've done in the past and continuously fail. We found Gareth Bale, Luka Modric and Song for relatively cheap, and we think that every time we go in the transfer market, we're going to find these gems and turn them into £100 million players, and it's just not the reality. And my concern is perhaps Tell's going in that direction at the moment, which is a shame. So I think he's got a fantastic attitude, and the fans clearly like him, because whenever he does come over to warm up, he gets a hell of a reception. And when he does come on, he does put a shift in. So yeah, I'd like to see him stay, but I want to see him play. He needs to play.
Yeah.
Right, staying with you, Moani, are you buying him in the summer? I think it'd be a cheap. I mean, when you look at strikers out, if you're talking about going for Omar Mamouche and things like that, you're looking at 65, 70 mils. I think Moani could turn out to be a bargain buy, actually, for comparable prices for strikers.
Yeah, I really like I really like Kolo Muani. I think he's a a very, very good player. We've got to remember he's a 95 million euro signing for PSG. So there's a lot of there. Fortunately, came in and picked up several injuries. Obviously, the dead leg and then the jaw. Perhaps I thought he was perhaps going to be used more on that left-hand side as a stopgap for Song leaving, and that we weren't able to get maybe, I don't know, Lookman or Savinho over the line in the summer. We brought him in as a sort of a stopgap because we thought we'd have Solanke. And then because Solanke's got injured, he's kind of playing two roles. He's got injured, so he's had a bit of a stop-start. We've seen some really good quality elements from him. He nearly scored on Saturday against Liverpool out of nothing. He created that all on him by himself. That's the quality that's there. So again, just needs to play regularly. It doesn't help really that Richarlison is scoring, because if it was me, I'd be playing Mawani up top every game, because I think he's a very, very good footballer. Just comes down to price really. How much PSG are going to want to recruit out of that 95 million euros, because I can't envision us wanting to spend much more than a 50 or something like that on him. And if he's available for anywhere around that, and I'd say it's definitely worth it. You know, he's a proven international goal scorer.
Yeah, that price, I think other clubs would be interested as well. Are you a fan of Mawani, Eugene? No?
I'm not a fan. I think he's overrated based on the hype when he was at PSG and the price tags. Just watching him play, you know, he is very inconsistent, and he's not a kid, right? He's 27? So at 27, I expect a polished striker. Just one thing that I don't want us to do anymore is buy average or decent starters or players, right? Like, is he a bad player? No. Is he a great player? No. He's okay. I've been underwhelmed. Yes, he does have skill. I mean, I would take him over Richie any day. However, for me, he's not a long-term starter for us. I wouldn't pay anything close to 50 million for him. If it's 30, maybe. I'm not impressed. And again, just looking at his career at Juve, he did okay, but that's Italy.
He's got 8 and 16.
What's
8
that?
and 16, and he scored 8 goals in 16 as a goal every game. That's a great return for.
Yeah, in Italy, but in Italy we see McTominay won the Player of the Year, right? So like it's a different league. We've seen a lot of
football player. I can get the Italian thing, but Scott McTominay is a fantastic player. He was superb in England as well. McTominay.
I don't know if he was superb. Man United fans that want him out, he wasn't good enough for them. I'm just like, I think when we look at players from like Bundesliga and from Serie A, even Spain, it's a different skill set that's required in the Prem, because you need more power, you need more pace. That's why a lot of people from different players from different leagues, they don't do well. So again, Mawani, is he good? He's okay. I wouldn't spend more than 30 million on him. I just don't want us, especially our issues with squad spaces. I just don't want to buy another average player who we won't be able to sell in 2 years. We should go for a top striker, or just let the kids develop. Like, no more stopgaps. And I just think he might be a stopgap, and that's not for me.
Well, it's all about opinions, and I'd buy him tomorrow. He hasn't been fit, and what he's shown me, and that bit of Berbatov stuff when he laid the ball back for the goal. I mean, and his close control, his turn, his reading of the game, and it just seems to stick. Well, everything sticks better to him than the player than it does Richie.
The way he plays with his back to the goal as well.
I just think he's the best striker at our club, so I would take him, and I think we'd get him for a premium price actually off of PSG, because I mean they've got a fantastic squad there at PSG, haven't they? I mean, if they're on form, they win the Champions League, But
do you guys think? Sorry, a quick question. Do you boys think that he is a top 5 striker in the Prem?
Yeah,
if we want to make top 5, I'm not even saying top 4. Is he that striker? For me, top 8 striker, maybe top 6, top 5. I don't think he's it.
Okay, well, it's just isn't it?
Yeah,
I do.
My caveat back to that is we're not a top 6 football squad.
Sure.
And we're not going to attract those players. The amount of people that have turned us down are, Semenyo, for instance, has turned us down already. He's a Bournemouth So we want these players, but unfortunately, I think the building blocks need to be put in. And someone like Kolomwani, I think could do some great things for us. But we'll see. Who knows? Someone else may come in for him.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point, because when we are where we are, which we shouldn't be where we are, this squad of players, I think they're a lot better than the position we've got. If people have been fit, I mean, we lost our front four. Son went, then you lose Decky, you lose Madison, you lose Solanke. I mean, last year it was centre backs. This year it's our forwards. I mean, you can't tell me we wouldn't have gained more points if they had been fit, because I wouldn't believe that at that point of view if someone was making it. So yeah, and now you're looking at players out there, and Semenyo thinks, oh, Spurs, all right, we could even offer Champions League football. But I think that may help us in the January window, the fact we can offer Champions League football. But I think, as everyone's been going on about, then if you want to attract to players, clubs are not going to let players go, whatever league they're in Europe, if they're facing relegation. Clubs are not going to let players go if they're in chance of winning honours. The only way clubs are going to let players go is if they're really skint, or they've got 3 players in a position that you want, and they're going to let one of them go. I mean, I just don't see it. But I still think Italy's a good hunting ground, because the clubs are skint. There was a little rumour, I'll say it's only in one post, about David Fratesi, a player I do like, who's box to box. I mean, I would take him, right? He is a dog, right? I mean, and he scores goals and he gets up and down that pitch. If there's any truth in that, yeah, get him. Throw Basuma out, get him. But yeah,
I think as well, coming on top of that is that also it's not just finding a club that's got a bloated squad or need the money. It's also if you're going to pay a premium for them, and some of these players, like we're being linked with Marmoush and Savinho, both I think could definitely help us. But the figures being talked about are astronomical, and the reality is people are going to look at Tottenham and think, well, you need the player. We know you've probably got a few quid. You haven't got Daniel Levy now that's going to absolutely kill us for weeks over transfer. Let's try and do some crafty sort of deals with them, really. But for us to get back to where we want to be as 3, diehard Tottenham fans, that's a lot of money we need to spend. And it's the development of the youth as well, but it's also finding the right experienced players that can help them on their way, but also having the right manager and backroom staff. And I don't know where that's going at the moment. And perhaps that's what putting Semenyo off, is looking at there going, hang on a minute, I'm going to go Man City. I know Pep Guardiola is going to be there, going to be in the Champions League. I'm going to challenge for the Premier League. I wouldn't mind going to Tottenham for more money, but I don't know if the manager's going to be there. I'll probably play more, but I'm not sure.
Turkey, Bob, Doku, if Semenyo goes to Man City, I should think every chance of getting Slovenia. I mean, whether he's not first choice or not. And even with Mamouche, you see, these players go there because they're going to trophy-winning clubs.
Yeah.
In the hope that they're going to be playing regular football, and then they're not. So then they can disappear off the radar. What do you think the chances are? What about loans for Marmouche then, if he's not getting game times, or loans for Sylvania?
I mean, honestly, I would just do all loans with options if I could. I mean, I think we dodged the bullet on Savinho, big bullet for 70 million that was rumored. He's definitely not good enough. He'd be another project, another youngster who hasn't done anything in the Prem. So I think we did dodge a bullet with him. Marmoush, he's more experienced. I'd take him on loan and see what we got. I wouldn't pay 70 million for him either. And just going back to strikers for a second, call me crazy, but I do want to see Lancashire be given a chance. If you look at our strikers, and that's why I'm not sold on the Moani purchase. If you look at our strikers, we have Solanke, Moani, Tell, and Richarlison. We need to sell at least 2. So let's say if we sell Richarlison and Solanke, then yeah, I would keep Moani and give Lancashire a chance. However, having all 4, I think it will have a bloated squad and without a top option. Because you can argue who you'd play, Solanke or Moani, right? Like the gap isn't huge. So for me, if the gap isn't that big, we don't know who is the starter is day in and day out. It means neither are good enough. So I would sell 2 out of 4 and give Lancashire a chance next season.
I mean, I know Gary's watched them as well. I watched all the under-21 games when they won both the competitions that year. Lancashire got 20-odd league goals, over 30 with the cup games. He's a natural scorer. But then I watched Scarlett as a 17-year-old, and when you see one player on the pitch that just stands head and shoulders, he was that player. He's now 21, I think. And I think he's going to have to be sold, Gary, to be honest, because like a lot of our youngsters, other clubs do it, and fans all cry, "Oh no, why are you selling him?" and all that. Like, well, there's a reason, you know.
Yeah, I'm with Eugene. I said in the summer I'd never have let Royal Lancashire leave a football club. I thought he had a future and should have stayed. I get why he's gone to Oxford and he's going to get game time and he scores, etc. But I'm just very impressed with him as a player, and I think he could have added a lot of depth to the squad. Scarlett, I watched September, I think it was, for the under-21s at Stevenage. I live quite close, so I go and watch them play. It was really poor, and I thought, wow, what's happened? Then a couple of days later, I watched him against Copenhagen, and I thought, actually, hang on, there's a player still in here, and we haven't seen him since. But also, you got Mason Mellier coming in January as well, the striker from the island. That's going to be some wonder kid. So we don't know how he might progress. But yeah, I'm with Eugene. I would definitely have Will Lancashire within the squad, definitely playing. I think he's got a lot of upside about him.
He blotted his copybook when he scored against Galatasaray and then got sent off.
Yeah,
but he looks. I mean, having watched him in the under 21 level, but he just looks unnatural. He's the closest and similar style to Kane, actually. To me,
the
I think
hardest thing about football is scoring. The boy can score goals.
Yeah,
and that's why it's frustrating. Why do we keep buying youngsters like Tell, like Odebert, when we do have our own youngsters, right? Lancashire and Donnelly, Mikey Moore. Just give them a chance. We keep buying 19-year-olds from France when we have our academy kids, and we loan them out to League One sides, and those are not good loans for them. Like with Scarlett, he's definitely not good enough at his age. However, if the loans would have been better, who knows? Maybe his development would be different.
Yeah, I don't know if Gary would agree with this. I've got a theory about why we go for the younger players abroad, and that's because most leagues over there, they haven't got the money that Premier League clubs have got to fill spaces in their squad, so they go for the ready-made fix rather than play the youngster. Whereas abroad, you look at Bergvall, right? It was at Jude Gardens or whatever it was like there, playing in a lower league. I mean, they play their players at a young age because they've got no choice. They haven't got the money to go, so they're ahead of ours. A 19-year-old in Europe ahead of a 19-year-old in the UK. Most of the time, I would say.
The development there is needed because there isn't enough players, essentially money, to get a lot of these clubs through. And our league has gone such a 180 of what it used to be, that it's just money driven, and we want these players in. Like it's like managers as well. We've got 2 English managers. And things like that. We think that a 30-year-old from Germany is better than a 30-year-old that might be in the, and this is just the mentality we have as a league. But the issue, I think, to answer some of Eugene's rightful comments, is that we have the alignment and the vision of the club has been, let's sign these 19-year-olds in development and develop them. That's at this level. Unfortunately, at this level, the person that picks them, he don't give 2 shits about this player. Jose Mourinho don't care about putting an 18-year-old player into the football club. Antonio Conte definitely doesn't. Nuno Espirito Santos didn't have enough time to do it. Thomas Frank probably doesn't either, but they don't have enough time. They've got 18 months at best, and they ain't going to put it down to playing a Will Lancashire or a Jamie Donnelly in hope that they can develop a player. The only type of people that would do that is someone like a Matt Wells, for instance. I'll just use him because he's a Tottenham man, and he might go, you know what, I've been given X amount of years or whatever. Or somebody that's been with the club that supports the club, that's got an affiliation, that might go, I want to start bringing through these players. And there's an alignment from top to bottom, but our alignment's always been zigzagged, and that's the issue we have at our football club. Is we'd rather go spend 50 million on a 19-year-old than give our own 19-year-old an opportunity.
Mm. And also, just going back to Mourinho, you made a good point, because the only reason McTominay got on that Man United side was because they had a horrific injury list, as I recall. And that is with the top clubs, it's the same. You know, they don't play them unless they've got injuries. Then suddenly, because they used to come, I used to make me laugh and say, "Oh, so-and-so would be a good manager, he plays youngsters." Really? I don't know many managers that play youngsters. You know, I mean, unless you're one of the less wealthier teams in the Premier League, you bring someone through that you've had a real good look at. I don't see too many, because managers are more concerned with preserving their jobs. That's why I think football's such horseshoe and boring most of the time now. You know?
Well, what we should do is what other clubs do, like City or like Leipzig or that RB group. ENIC should purchase a club where we can send players for development, right? That's what City does, or maybe Chelsea as well. I know a lot of clubs do that, versus sending him to a League One or League Two side where they'll be on the bench, like Scarlet. So I think it's a bigger issue, or it's a bigger kind of thing with ENIC, with this club. If we buy a club in Germany or in Spain, then there's going to be a pathway for our youth to go and play there in the first team. The way it is right now, our loans have not been successful, at least most of the time.
Most of them may have not been, but there's a couple that I think have. And we'll talk about that, because we're like overloaded with centre backs. You've got Dragerson and Takai, right? Takai, I think you can send out on loan. He's 20. Dragerson, to be fair, we haven't seen enough of the player. He had a decent Euros come here, then he got sent off and blocked his cookie book and his positional play. But I see enough pace in the player. Very good in the air, very tall. I don't see him making inroads into the squad, because to me, two of our players that have done well and look good are Mikey Moore and Luka Vuskovic. I think Vuskovic is an absolutely fantastic talent for a centre-back who's only 18 years of age. He smashed it at Hamburg now. I mean, they lost the first game at home 5-0 when he played. Since then, his stats for heading and all that. He's just, you could play him in midfield. I think he's that good. But I don't know what your take is on him, Gary. You may disagree with my evaluation.
Vuskovic? He's a fantastic player. Yeah, he needs to stay exactly where he is, and we just do not touch him for the rest of this year and evaluate him in the summer. I would be quite open in the summer to have him back, and even having Mickey van der Ven covering at left back if we don't go and get a left back, because he said number of times he prefers playing left back. I'd be quite happy with that, and the money is spent elsewhere while we're growing, if we're not going to throw a lot of money around. But he's still only 18. It's a big difference between the Bundesliga and the Premier League, but by all accounts, he's doing very, very well. Going on Dragishin, I wouldn't be surprised if you see him go out to Italy. His agent likes to talk a lot. We haven't heard a lot from him this summer because obviously he's been injured for so much, but there was so much talk about him leaving before he'd even done anything at Tottenham. A couple of people in Italy that seem to be interested. Maybe a loan with an option might be something that could be done with Dragishin. I don't think we've seen anywhere near the quality that he could bring. But I think Danzo is a good, solid professional, very, very professional. He can do us a job when we need it, and I don't think you're ever going to have a personality or a disciplinary issue with Danzo. And I think those are the type of players you want to have around your younger developing players. Not saying Dragishin is anything other than that, but I think I would go with Danzo over Dragishin if I had to choose, with the knowledge that Vuskovic is potentially going to be available for us in the summer.
I'm going to stay with you on Mikey Moore, because he seems to be finding his feet at Rangers now. And we've been crying out for a ball carrying number 8. Now, when we've seen him play for the under 21s, he's been forced to play on the opposite when Santiago was there, right, before he went off to Elche, whether in Spain. He can play anywhere, behind the main striker. And he's a ball carrier. I mean, he can carry that ball forward. I mean, he loses it at times, but he's just got he's got that center of gravity, you know, I think he's fantastic.
This is what I felt when we were trying to bring someone in on the left-hand side to replace Song, and we didn't, and this, I call it a stopgap. It's probably a wrong term to use for Koda Moani, because he's a very good player. But he came in there because we knew we were sending Mikey Moore out on loan, and that's a good loan move for him at Rangers. That's a good standard. He obviously struggled under the first manager they had, and now the new manager's come in. He's flourishing and he's playing well, and he's looking like the player that we all expect from him. He's developing physically. He's getting bigger and stronger. We saw glimpses last season, especially in the Europa League. He looked very good. So yeah, again, keep him where he is. Bring him back in the summer. Reevaluate him. Is he the long-term answer on that left wing? Probably, if he keeps developing. But do we need to maybe look at someone that can come in and aid in that development? That's why I always felt Jack Grealish was the one for me on that left-hand side. He'd have been perfect. He's a winner. He's won everything in the game domestically. Could help those younger players as well. And he's on loan, which means we could send him back and then allow him, Mikey Moore to slowly progress. Still very young. I think he's only like 19, so he's still got a lot of progression to do. Good standard that he's at. Again, him like Vuskovic, let's just see how they are in the summer. And hopefully, if we look at the whole picture, the amount of good young players we have of potential, Vuskovic, Mickey van der Ven's still quite young. Going into midfield, obviously Gray, you've got Bergval, you've got Mikey Moore, you've got Luca Williams-Barnett, you've got Tina Thompson early in the under-21s, you've got Mason coming in, got Janai Byfield at centre-back,
Oliver
Bose, Tell. We've got so many.
Yeah, I've seen them play.
We've got a generation of players coming through, but we need the right top professionals around them that are going to help them develop. You James Madison's, like that.
I would definitely bring Vuskovic back, and I would. I mean, I haven't seen enough of Dragosin. I wouldn't want to be unfair on him. He might get some games and, have us sitting on our edge of our seats. He might do really well if he gets a chance. But I want Vuskovic in this squad, right? I want him in this squad in the summer. What's your take on Vuskovic and Mikey Moore? Have you seen much of them, Eugene? I think I sent you a video of it.
Yeah, this season a little bit. I was watching Mikey Moore last season and prior. He's definitely a talent. But then again, that goes back to what I was saying about us spending big money on youngsters from other leagues, where we have Lancashire, we have Donnelly. I want to see him play. But then again, the question is the messaging and the direction from the club. Right? Are they going to say, if we want to compete for top 4 year in and year out, obviously it's tougher to develop youngsters. Or if they say, you know what, for the next 1 or 2 years, we're going to develop youngsters because we see some promise, and then we go. We just need to pick a path, because we've been trying to do both and it didn't work. We are not signing top players, and we're not doing a good job in developing the youngsters. So we're stuck in limbo, and we need to pick a path. So again, with Frank, I was hoping he would do more or better job developing. I haven't seen enough of that. So Vuskovic, definitely, he is our future center back. Whether I want to see him in the summer, yes, unless we can find a top loan. If we can loan him out to a Prem side where he can start week in, week out, like a bottom Prem side, I will do that to get him acclimated to the Prem. I think that'd be a good move, but I'd rather him stay with us than go back to Germany, for example.
So I think after we paid 12 million in Magic Split, I think it was, then he went to Poland, smashed it, went to Belgium, smashed it. He's gone to the Bundesliga, smashed it. The next step up is the Premier League.
Yeah, he's got to be in the Prem. And Dragusin, it's so it's so funny too. Like Ange, he wanted to play high line. We needed a center back with pace who can pass, and they got him a Dragusin, who is completely opposite of what Ange was looking for. So is he a bad center back? I don't think so. I mean, he does have a turning radius of an aircraft carrier. He turns very slowly. However, in a back 3, back 5, he might do a job. So it all depends on the manager,
Mm.
the formation that Frank wants to play or whoever comes in.
Mm.
I'm not a big fan. If we get a decent fee for him, I'd let him go. However, I just think we didn't do him service. The Ange style didn't fit what
Yeah.
Dragoshin is best at,
Yeah.
and it exposed his biggest flaws. So
And it's
I
another
don't know.
player you haven't got to worry about putting in the Champions League squad when the list has to be compiled at the end of January, which if we bring in foreign players will still be an issue because Decky's got to come back into that squad straight away.
I mean, I would sell a bunch of them.
Yeah,
I mean, I would sell Dragoshin. I know Gary might get mad at me, but I would sell Madison. I'd sell Kulusevski. I would just do, wholesale changes and just go with the kids.
Eugene's playing Football Manager 2026
Yeah,
in real life.
exactly.
Right,
No,
guys.
I'm tired of inconsistent players. And then I know we're going to talk about our captain, I'm sure, in a bit, but
Mm.
you know,
Rumours about Brennan Johnson to Villa or Palace. We selling him or what? A top goal scorer last season. He's never played in his right position, in my opinion. I think he's an inside right, but I think a lot of people think that.
There's definitely interest from Villa, Palace, West Ham. Whether that interest,
even Everton at one time, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Nottingham Forest were quoted as well today, so there's definitely interest there. Whether a Bournemouth as well, I think, as a replacement for Semenyo, which would make sense to me. I think Bournemouth would probably be a better move. Villa seem to be quite strong on there as well, but there's interest. I think it's not really developed. It's weird because he's top goal scorer last season, and it just doesn't do enough for me as a long-term player. If I got a 35, 40 million pound offer, I'm taking it personally, and that's no disrespect to him. Seems a nice guy, gets on with a lot of people in the squad, but not sure he's quite the answer that we need. He doesn't fit the system that we have. He fits Ange quite well, but I don't think he fits into Thomas Frank's system. And if I'm choosing him or Kudus, then there's no sort of choice really. Kudus is number one for me. Kudus is probably one of the first people I put on a team sheet, but we just need to get balanced on that left-hand side, which ultimately will help Kudus perform better because at the moment he's getting double teamed all the time.
Yeah. Have you heard much? I did post videos out to you guys and guests. Mick Gotts at Ajax, the winger. No.
I've heard, obviously I know who he is. I haven't heard any
Okay.
rumors or anything.
Watched him. I wasn't impressed with him as was, but this guy has got the physicality to deal with the Premier League. I like the look of him, but that doesn't mean nothing. So they come if you get him, but he wouldn't be cheap either. I think he'd be 65 mil, 70. Ivory Coast guy, and he's smashing it for Leipzig. I think it is. I think it's Leipzig.
Yeah, Leipzig. Yeah, and Bundesliga. Yeah, electric, like ridiculously fast. Very, very skillful. Very, very impressive player. He was bought from Spain. I want to say it was Getafe, but I might get that wrong. But he wasn't even playing first team football. RB Leipzig has signed him for literally nothing, and there's rumours of him being sort of 100 million euro player. I'm assuming teams like Bayern Munich are going to want him. So I think
they've got enough wingers, though, haven't they? I mean, this is the thing. You've got Aloisi's there, innit? You've got Diaz. You've got.
They like to. So he was at Leganés. He was at Leganés. He was in. It was at Leganés, so slightly wrong. But he only played 10 games for Leganés in all the season he was there, so he was hardly really playing. But Bayern Munich shift players on. They shift him on a lot. If they find someone they think has got a higher ceiling, a player moves quickly, and they've got some players they need to shift out. He's a great player. Again, is Tottenham the right move for him? Because we're not going to be in Europe if we carry on the way we are now. So
he's certainly got the physicality, though, isn't he? He's a lump, isn't he, as well?
It's still a risk. Like, I want to see some proven players. Like, if we have 70 million to spend on him, I know it's a different position, but I would drop 100 on Wharton, for example. We know he's going to be a top player. He's done it in the Prem. Given how we do business, I don't think we can afford to make any more expensive mistakes. So again, he
I-
might be
look,
a
I'm
top
sure-
player.
Yeah.
However, I would spend 100 on Wharton rather
Mm.
than spend 70 or even 80 on him.
I get that, but you're not going to get Wharton in January. This is the thing. There's some players you will not.
In the summer, yeah.
Alice
He wouldn't come here anyways. But
decent enough season. They're playing tonight. I don't know. They're getting on against Arsenal away in the League Cup quarterfinal, aren't they? So
It was 0-0 when I looked. So I'll have a look now.
what was it? All
was
right,
it?
okay.
It was 0-0 when I logged on. It's 1-1 at the moment in penalties.
All right, good.
Oh,
Hope
They
Palace
should.
win. Hope they put a strong side out tonight.
It's
We got-
it's penalty shootout. I will tell you currently. Mikel Arteta looks a bit worried.
I forgot all about it.
Odegaard is stepping up to take this penalty. I don't know what the penalties is at the moment. I feel like a commentator. I feel like John Motson.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh,
You need
no.
a sheepskin coat if you want to be John Motson.
Yeah. There you go. There
I
Odegaard
like-
stepping up.
Have you seen much of this guy? I like this guy. You would have seen him against us for Monaco. You two. What's your take?
Actually,
I like him. I'll take him.
Yeah.
23, 24.
23 can play left, can play right, can play a number 10. Probably more of on the right hand side of a player. Very, very good. There was a lot of talk in the summer. Not sure if anything else is coming of that. But very, very good player. Again, I think with Eugene is right. We need Premier League proven experienced. I would rather us go and get Jack Grealish. And I know that sounds.
Or bring back Mikey Moore to do the job that he does here, because
bring back Mikey Moore, but bring in someone that's won everything in the Premier League that can help bring these players on. It's not going to cost us a huge amount of money. You know, I keep saying Jack Grealish, but that's the type of player I think. It's currently 1-1 on penalties.
Yeah.
Right.
With Grealish, it's funny. I was really against the move, but now I was like, yeah, maybe we should have gone for him. I'm not the biggest fan, but I think on this team right now, he definitely help us with his.
Would you take Omar Mamouche over Sylvina at City? You could probably only get him on a loan.
I mean, it depends. I mean, I would rather get Marmouche on loan than spend 70 million on Savinho. I mean, I think again, we dodged a huge bullet. Savinho's not worth it. Marmouche, I take on loan with an option. Obligation, probably not, but an option. It's a no-brainer.
Okay, this will be a bone of contention, right? Fiorentina, bottom of Serie A, rumoured 5-year contract offer. What I've seen, there's been no contact with Spurs, but whether there has been behind the scenes, I think Callum said there has been, so I don't know. Then you've got to talk about, he's supposed to have a 2-year contract with us. I mean, like, compensation. I don't think Italian clubs have got money to pay compensation.
Fiorentina want to rebuild. That's the whole reason they've gone for Paratici. They need to rebuild. They're not only the stadium that's sort of struggling, but the club, they've just picked up their first league win of the season, which was on Sunday night. I think it was 5-1 they won. So it was the first win of the season. Rock bottom. They've basically said to him, you know, you're going to run everything, and that's what he wants. I think there was some backstage stuff at Tottenham team. Perhaps he couldn't make the changes he wanted, and Fiorentina won't stay that way. Also, we've been told that perhaps there's some personal issues that makes him want to go back to Italy. And he did say public as well before he joined Tottenham that if an Italian side ever came for him, he will go back. I'm disappointed because we stood by him during the suspension, and it's not showing much loyalty, but there's no loyalty really in life at the moment, is there? Let's be fair about it. So if he wants to go, because I don't want you at the football club. It's the same with a player. If you don't want to be and a manager, I don't want you at the club. Like, even if you are very good, I don't want you.
Though, Eugene, I mean, the club could dig their heels in. He's on a 2-year contract. I mean, it's not helpful if you dig your heels in, you let them go. But the Spurs will squeeze something out of Fiorentina.
I mean, just let him go. I agree with Gary. Loyalty-wise, it's not a good look. However, it was always kind of strange with him and Langa how that's going to play out. Having two people responsible for footballing operations. And also, I think Paratici is a bit overrated by our fans. I just, other than his knowledge of Italy and the transfers from Italy, I'm not sure I don't think he did as good of a job as many think. Even the players that he bought from Italy, you know, he for me, if he leaves, no big deal. My bigger issue is I don't think that Lange is the guy that we need to head our football operations. So I'm glad if Paratici goes, but we need somebody like Campos or somebody experienced, somebody good who knows talent. Because right now I have no confidence in Lange and a recruiting team. So that's a different issue, but it's related as well. So if Paratici goes, I'm okay with that, but we need to bring somebody else in who can do the job.
Likely, if it is anybody, it'd probably be Paul Mitchell, who's previously at the club.
Oh,
And I
I would
spoke
love
to
Paul
him.
Mitchell. Yep.
He's I know that they've spoke to him. I did hear, I don't know how true it is, that the reason the fallout with Paratici, there's a slight fallout, is because he wanted Thomas Frank to be sacked, but I don't know how true that is.
Oof.
But I know there's a lot of friendship with Paul Mitchell and Pochettino, and apparently, Paul Mitchell is quite keen on coming back, so that might be something we end up seeing if this happens, and he's available. So,
But that's
yeah,
interesting though, because Paratici and Levy were always tight, and Levy is the one who hired Frank, and I'm assuming that Levy would have consulted Paratici about Frank. That's why him wanting him sacked. I mean, that for me that'd be good, but that's interesting. I don't know if I believe it or not, but
yeah, I don't
knows?
know
But
how true it is.
Mitchell is
We get
good.
told lots of different things. Paul Mitchell
Yeah.
would be good to come back. Obviously, he loves the club as well, so I think he'd be good.
Only issue with Paul Mitchell. Oh, sorry, Gary. Only issue with Paul Mitchell, he doesn't seem to last more than a couple of years on any team. What was the previous team? Was it Newcastle or what? Where was it
Newcastle,
before?
yeah.
Yeah, he lasted for 2 years, and then he had a fallout with, was it Eddie Howe or whoever? So he seems to be a volatile personality as well. So I would love him as a talent evaluator, but I don't know.
Right, let's move on to this, guys, which you might get a few comments in the chat. Paratici, 17 league games, 6 Champions League games, 2 League Cup games. He's had 25 games in the pre-season, and we're 14th in the league. Eugene, you want to blast on this?
Man, how long is the show? No, it's, you know what? I've been really disappointed. Like, I've been changing my opinion on him this whole season. Initially, I wasn't a fan. I felt like if you sack Ange and we made Champions League, and if we want to make that leap as a club after winning a trophy, you had to bring in a proven manager who knows how to win. That would be a clear step up from Ange. And with Frank coming from a mid-table club, always had concerns, whether he's going to be the next Potter or like we've seen this not work out. And initially, first 3-4 games, I was surprised or I was happy. I'm like, wow, like I'm seeing something. I'm seeing us improve. We're doing well. And also the whole thing about him being a coach and improving youngsters, I was happy about that. However, since then, I'm really disappointed. My biggest thing is it's not even results per se, because I said it in the beginning when we were getting results. It's that I don't see a philosophy. I don't see what he's trying to accomplish. Like under Ange, we weren't executing, we were losing, but at least I understood what Ange was trying to do. I understood what Conte was trying to do. Now I have no idea what Frank is trying to do, what he's trying to instill. We don't have the bravery. Like he has a mid-table mentality, and he brings it to us. So I just think it might be one of those where he's a great coach for a mid-table club, but to be in a big club like Tottenham, being a good coach isn't good enough. You need to be a manager. You need to be able to manage egos. You need to be able to inspire. And he has a charisma of a math teacher. He's not charismatic. He doesn't have the presence about him. And it's not a surprise that you see Spence and Van der Ven disrespect him. I just don't see that the players respect him. And as a manager, if you can't motivate your players, I think you're not going to succeed. So regardless of tactics, I just don't see him as a big club manager. No philosophy, just no presence. I wouldn't sack him because I don't think we can get anybody better right now. Said from the start, I would give every manager at least a season, if not more. But what I'm seeing right now, I don't think anybody's improving really. And we're like, our defending has regressed. We're not solid at the back as we thought we would be. Our attack is abysmal. I just don't see it. And even if we were losing, but I would see the philosophy, I would see that he's trying to build something, I would be okay with it. But I'm just not seeing it.
Okay. Gary, I mean, I've seen that he now seems to have come to a preference of Bergvall, Gray and Simmons, although he was sent off. It's just a question of whether it's Bentancur or Polina behind him. But as Eugene alluded to, there's still a lack of cohesion between the midfield and the front three. And we can slag off the front three as much as we like, but if we don't give them service, it's not really a justified criticism.
No, and we can't keep second managers either.
No.
We can't keep doing a rinse and repeat. We've got to give opportunity for growth. The issue we've got is the players aren't good enough. That's ultimately what it is. We've got a number of players in there that aren't good enough, and we've bought a number of players that we think have high potential that perhaps the managers aren't prepared to put their neck on the line for, as I said earlier, because they don't have enough time. I don't think Thomas Frank's a bad manager at all. I think he knows what he's doing, and he's had the opportunity to progress on, and he's tried to before taking a Tottenham job. I think, again, our ownership has let another manager down, not giving him the tools to work with. Equally, on the other flip side of that, we're not seeing enough progression from day one. When we watched the PSG game, I thought, bloody hell, we're going to be something. We're going to be hard to beat here. And I was fine. We lost. Okay, we lost. I thought we're going to be something to beat here. And then we've slowly regressed, and we haven't shown much progression since then. And I don't think he does himself any favours in the comments that he makes about Spurs fans and things like that. And my comment will always be, I was here a lot longer before you, and I'll be here a lot longer than after you. I'll support you I'll support you until you're not here, but don't sort of question our loyalty, because that's ridiculous. Yeah. But I get as well, he's come in to a fan base that is very split and divided. Half of it didn't want Ange to go. Maybe 40% of it did. And then there was a 5% that wanted a manager we had 5 or 6 years ago. I am part of that 10% as well. Crystal Palace, no, I haven't. Crystal Palace have just gone out. Arsenal have just won.
Arsenal won.
But he's come in with his sort of one arm tied behind his back, and then he's lost a number. He's lost the Song. He's lost a number of other attacking players. They've not really recruited very well. The chairman's gone. The sporting director's about to go. So it's a lot going on in those.
Matty Wells is going to Colorado Rapids.
Matty Wells has left today. So there's a lot that's happened. But he's not helping himself either. So he'll get this season. I've got no doubt about that. And the reason I think he'll get this season, there's two parts to that. Is one, I think it'd be an absolute PR disaster for the Lewis family and Vinay Venkatesham. Definitely coming up saying we need to compete on all fronts, and then having to admit that they were wrong 6 or 7 months into it, even though they know they're wrong. They're probably those type of people that won't admit it. And equally, in the summer, after the World Cup, there's going to be a lot of managers out of contract, and we might be able to pick up somebody special, or we might be able to pick
unless
up
he turns it around between the end of the transfer.
So it's going to be an interesting few months.
Yeah. Eugene, we did have quite a few fans on various podcasts. Oh, they won't let him spend any money because, he might not be here in the summer. Hang about. I don't go with that argument. We know the weaknesses in the squad. No matter who the manager you bring in, we know we need a left back. We know we need a left winger. And we know we need a ball-carrying dog of war in midfield, right? We know there are 3 positions we need to fill. So to me, that's not a question of like not spending in January, because ENIC have to. They've talked the talk. Now we've got to see them walk the walk.
Our biggest issue as a club is, so when Ange was hired, I believe the club came out and said, whether Ange is here or not in the future, this is the philosophy that we'll be adopting. Going forward, we'll be hiring managers who play a certain style. And if that's the case, if you look at Brighton, if you look at other teams, managers leave and players leave, but they play a certain style and they churn out players, and the drop off isn't huge, right? They keep on going. With us, we go back and forth between an attacking manager and a defensive manager, right? You had like Conte, then you had, Ange, Nuno, like, and difference between Ange and Frank is drastic. So now, again, we're gonna buy for Frank, and then if they sack him next season or in the summer, they're gonna bring in an attacking manager, and the players are not gonna fit anymore. So it's not even a manager issue; it's the philosophy issue that a club needs to make up their minds about the style of play, and a director of football needs to be in charge of transfers and buying players for a certain style, not specifically for a manager.
I don't agree with that, Eugene. I mean, you've got Rob McKenzie in charge of 10 people here, right? It's Max Legger is a scout in Germany, Yo Fuara in Portugal, Alex Fraser UK, Giuseppe in Italy, Seb in UK, and then the bottom 5, their analysis. They work on the player analysis and data side. The bottom 5, he's got 10. Then you've got, like you say, 2 sporting directors if Paratici doesn't go, and then you've got Vinod Venkatesham, and you've got Charrington, who's probably running the show, right? The lawyer from Bahamas, right? So when it's an easy stick to beat a club or any manager with saying like the manager he might have a favoured player that the club like that they'll bring in, but if he picks someone who's dog shit, I bet that player's not coming to the club if he's not rated by the. You've got to be a consensus there on what players come in. I mean, we know whether he stays or not. I think Gary mentioned it on his earlier podcast today. So get over to Project Spurs, guys. There's 130 of you watching. Get over there, right? But we know, to me, the most urgent position at the moment is left back, because we could end up with it is because you've only got Udogie's injured and we've only got Porro and what's name. I mean, VDV could go there. You don't really want him there. You don't want Gray playing at fullback. He's just getting his feet in midfield again. So to me, we will be looking at these. We'll have lists of probably 5 in all these positions, right? But we need to bring in a left back, right, and a left winger and a midfielder in this window. At least 3 players we need to bring in.
Well, but Adrian, this is, for example, when we brought in Porro and Udogie, we brought them in for Conte's system because they're very good wingbacks. Mm-hmm. However, when you play back 4, Udogie might improve, even though I've been disappointed, but it's clear that Porro is not a fullback. He's an attacking wingback for back 3, back 5, right? So again, when we buy players, it helps when we know the style of football that we're going to be playing, not just now, but in the future. Because I don't know if Porro fits what Frank is trying to do.
That's a good point. But at the same time, then a manager like Frank should do what other teams do. When Porro's going forward, Udogie should be making a back 3. When Udogie's going forward, Porro should be making a back 3. I've seen Porro have a few. I mean, he's not the greatest defensively, but I've seen him have constrained games when has he been under orders to play that way for that particular game. The problem with Frank is because he goes through everything in such detail, and I think the problem we have understanding his philosophy is because he picks teams for certain games, and we haven't seen a consistent 8 in the side regular. And when people say 11, no, you need a team of 18. You got 5 subs on the bench without 2 concussion subs, blah blah blah. But you need about 18 in case you got injuries. You're not gonna keep 25 quality players happy at a football club, because even now, go on.
They're also the new thing that managers are doing now with their fullbacks is they're making them into free-flowing fullbacks. You'll notice that Mark Cucurella for Chelsea, for instance, would be up front. So they're trying to push those players into areas that might go into midfield. So it's
stuck in the midfield, yeah. Yeah.
a 4 versus a 3, so we're overloading their areas, but we're not tucking in enough. We're starting to do that a little bit more now. We definitely weren't doing that under Ange, that was for sure. We were being caught a huge amount. And Eugene is right. We should be signing players that fit the manager, but equally, and this is again like Football Manager I always come to, as me and one of my best friends play it all the time, and I'm very much I'll buy the players to what I like, and I'll build the system around to me. He will build his system about the players he has available, and sometimes he's more successful because he's going, okay, that player doesn't fit what I actually want, so I'm going to adjust. And did it to a certain extent. Thomas is trying, but I don't think we're quite there. But you're also right, Adrian. We're dying out for another left-sided player, left back, left wing, as we've spoken about. It's definitely needed, and that ball carrier. I don't see us getting all 3 in January. I think,
and it's the link play what's disappointing me. And where are the overloads? If your winger, the whole modern game is based on the fact, oh, your winger don't necessarily have to beat the man, because it's far easier to just slip the ball through for a fullback to run on whack across him, which is percentage football, because you're not going to lose the ball if you make the pass, right? You're not going to lose the ball.
Look at Saturday with Jed Spence. Yeah. You brought up a good fight.
He played well, yeah. He played well.
He kept tucking into that middle of the field, centre midfield, and then he was going into the number 10. He was overloading those areas where they had 3, which then meant we had 4, and it was a 4v3. Then when he went out wide, we had him, and it was who was on the left, Bergval. Then it was a 2-on-1, and maybe sometimes it was a 2-on-2, and then we tried to shift players over as well. And we were trying to overload in those areas, and sometimes even Jed Spence was up front with Kola Moani. And we're trying to overload in their areas. So we're getting there. I just don't think we have the talent to do it quite yet. And it's just a recruitment issue. And equally, it's whether the fan base and the ownership are patient enough to allow Thomas Frank to give us what he's effectively trying to do. I think some of the fan base certainly are. There's people in the chat that are saying we can't keep sacking Mayers. I'm one of them. I desperately think this would be a PR disaster if they let him go. That's why I think they will keep him until at least the summer, and hope that he can turn it around. Because if he doesn't, we're in trouble, and we're in big trouble, because we are slipping down that league quick.
I mean, and the issue is, Gary, my issue is, again, I don't want him sacked, but I just don't know what he's trying to do. It's like, yes, I agree, our players are not good enough for top 5, top 6, top 7, maybe even. However, we should not be setting records in, XG utility. Like, we're not a League 2 side where we can only generate 1 shot on goal, right? For example, like under Ange, when we had like 10, 11 shots on goal and we couldn't score, I could say our quality is not good enough. We don't have finishers. Right now, we're not even generating chances. And to me, the players are more than good enough to at least generate some chances, to at least make a forward pass. Like, the drop off is drastic. So yes, if we generated chances and didn't score, fair game. However, the way we're playing, 1 shot on goal, that's unacceptable. Yeah. And my concern is, even if Frank gets better players, let's say even if we get Semenyo or whoever else, I'm not confident that he will change his tactics where we actually will see a big improvement. Just tactically, I don't see him going for it. He's playing like a mid-table, like a relegation club, where he's playing not to lose. And I'm just not confident, even with his players, he's going to all of a sudden become an attacking manager, since he never was. So that's my concern.
I get that. This is a defining moment for him. This is a big defining period, this Christmas and New Year. Matt Wells is left. Who replaces him? Paratici, is he coming? Is he going? What happens there? This is the first post-Levy transfer window as well. How do we perform as a club? Because for the last 10 years, I mean, he's pretty much been in control of those. And then there's obviously player issues, injuries, suspensions, form. So this is a really defining moment for him, but I think us as a fan base, because I think a lot of my thoughts on the club right now stem from 2019 of not progressing and bringing in the right players for Poch. And now, 5 or 6 years later, we are suffering from it. And I think we're kind of in that realm again, because we've gone through every manager we can think of and we can't get out of it. And only one man has got us out of that. And he's no longer at the club. Whether you think that was right or not, it's a different argument. But this is a defining moment for us, I think.
Yeah, 518 days without a signing for Poch. 518 days, and we've been paying for it ever since. Got a couple of more things to go through before we finish, but there's 142 viewing us on various platforms, which is fantastic, as it's Christmas and you should all be out on the lash if you ain't having a quiet tipple when we can't see you. Yeah, so our Spurs Died shows go out every Tuesday, Friday and Sundays. And we do have a Facebook group. You can check us out there. We do have an XCOM group. I mean, we do have a WhatsApp group. If any of you want to guest on shows, you're more than welcome, but we need your phone number. So the only way you can message us securely is either through XCOM or Facebook private messaging. And then we can add you if you feel like you want to come on the show. If not, just we're happy to have you view us. You know, it's great to have your support out there. And get over to Gary on Project Spurs. I haven't got the link. Have you got the link to your... Put it in the chat.
Yeah, if you follow my Twitter, it's on my bio, so you can just go to my Twitter and follow it from there. But Project Spurs, basically project without the O and the E, just looks quite nice spelt that way rather than just writing project. To be completely honest,
we'd like a favour to ask of you while you're in the festive spirit. In the bottom right hand corner where you can't see it, please hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, and give the video a thumbs up. We bring you all this content for nothing. A lot of hard work goes on behind the scene, and Gary's showing our shows and whatever. So, like, if you can do that, we have even got memberships if you're interested. They're only £2 a month. I mean, we don't rip people off here at Spurs Diehards. Just helps to pay for the content and that. So, yeah, and a very big up, very thank you to everyone for your comments in the chat, and a big up to everyone who's watching this video on playback. And with that, I've got a couple more points, which I know Eugene wanted to get in earlier. This is our yellow card watch I do. Romero's got 7. I didn't count anything for his sending off because I'm not sure if those cards, I think they just get scrubbed. The only reason I've got them on 7 is if you get 10 yellow cards before the 32nd game in the season, you get a 2-match ban. But we've got two here on 4, which is VDV and Bentacore. Now, Palace away is our 18th game. If they pick up a yellow card there, they both get a 1-match ban. Right, which is not what we need because Xavi's out and Romero's out for that game, obviously. Xavi has to miss 3 games. Yeah, so that's the way it is. There's been a lot of talk about Romero, Eugene. I mean, like, do you go with the fact that, like, they think he's too hot-headed and reckless or what?
I mean, I'm going to be harsh right now, and maybe it's just I'm still angry, but I've had it with him, to be honest. And maybe my expectations of him are much higher since he's supposed to be our best player. And on his day, he's a world-class center back. However, in the last couple of seasons, I lost count of how many games he single-handedly cost us. For every game where he's world-class, he has 3 games where he costs us. How many games this season he gives away a free header in the box? I think every single game, whether the other striker puts it away or not, that's a different story. However, he gives away free headers all the time. Every other game, he gives the ball away in our box. He loses focus. And as a captain, you cannot lose your head. He doesn't lead he doesn't lead on the pitch. He's supposed to be the one saying, hey boys, chill, relax, cool down. We're going to get back. Especially in the game against Liverpool, where I really felt like we would equalize if he wouldn't get his second yellow. We were on the front foot. That was the worst time for him to get a silly yellow. So overall, yes, on his day, he's a top player. However, last few seasons, I've been really disappointed. And if you're not consistent, it doesn't matter how good your other games are. Like, give me a center back who's 8 out of 10 or 7.5 out of 10 every single game. Give me Dan Burns, an old school, solid center back who I can rely on. An issue with Romero, and same thing with Vicario. They're just not consistent. They cost us too many games. And Romero, honestly, he's just not a captain for me. The way he acts, he's not it. I would give it to Van der Ven. I know right now you can't change that. However, he's just not a leader I thought he was. And he's not a player I thought he was either. He's just too inconsistent for me.
Gary, your take on Romero?
Yeah, quite similar actually. When you need him, I'm not sure he's going to be there, and I'm not sure what Christian Romero is going to turn up, and that's worrying. On Saturday, we needed him. We needed him to put us on his back and drive the team forward, and he let us down at the critical moment because not only did he get sent off, he also killed the momentum that we'd built, because that place was rocking, and then all of a sudden we got quite deflated. I don't know about. I struggle. We need him. We need him at the club, and he's getting better. But I have some reservations. I could see he was going to get him sent off on Saturday just because of the way he was and frustration he was getting.
Well, the first booking was dissent, wasn't it? I've never had a dissent or celebration when you get a booking. I mean, players know this.
First goal's his mistake. He's playing the ball out with the outside of his right foot as a centre back. We just need to take a touch, knock it to his right or left. Easy done. He's overplaying. Caused, it's an error. The second goal, I don't think that's a goal. I think that's the foul. It's two hands in the back.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's not been given. Gone and got himself, dissent. Then goes and kicks out in front of the referee. It just
you get booked for that because he smashed into the back of him.
I mean, no, he didn't. I thought Kanate got sent off. That's what I thought in the stadium.
I never thought it from the angle.
I said to the guy who was like next to me, I said, is that double yellow? He was like, yeah. I was like, fucking get in. He was like, what do you mean? I went, is that not Kanate? He went, no, it's Romero. I was like, what? I had no idea. Because
I thought the referee was just an absolute disgrace for it.
It was shocking.
It was terrible.
It was awful, wasn't he? I mean, I remember the crowd giving a big cheer when we got our first decision. I mean, it was like that. I'm different to you guys. I'm a big fan. I think we miss Romero's ball progression when he's not on the field. All the defenders look for him at the back to progress with the ball. VDV's very good at charging forward, but he's not at that level. He may get to that level. He has upped his game. He's looking a better player than he was last season. But I just think we miss him. All right, he's picked up these yellow cards. I think in the season under Ange, when Basuma got 3 suspensions, Romero got 1. I think he got sent off against Milan or something. I think it was, wasn't it, for a rash one? That was rash. But I think
he cost us so many games, Adrian. I still remember
the
Wolves game.
Hold on, I bet. Well, I don't know that. I'd have to go back and look at every game he's played and see how many we won and how many we lost.
I mean, right? I remember the Wolves game. He cost us 3 goals by himself. I just remember, and like the second goal, I agree, it was a foul. It shouldn't have counted. However, that header, I remember like last season, Gabriel, he got the header. A Newcastle game, he got up a header. He's just so soft in the box. Like in the attacking third, he goes up for the ball when it's opportunity to score a goal. However, for some reason, he cannot defend headers. Honestly, if we get 70 million, I would sell him because unlike strikers, there are no good strikers. I think there are a lot of very good center backs in the world.
Well, he's just signed a new contract. I mean, we know he's not going.
But for me, he is too inconsistent. I just want somebody who is just give me 7.5 every single game. Like Romero, I'm just, every time he's on the ball, I'm concerned. Either he's going to make a great pass or he's going to do something silly. And we cannot afford our captain doing that.
All right, we won't argue the point now. Last banner to come up. While you're all in a festive spirit, and season's greetings to all of you watching us on various platforms, and hope you're all subscribing to the channel. Right, come on, Eugene. How many points we getting? Everyone thinks we're getting relegated. We've got some teams here, right? Palace away. They've just lost. If they just lost at Arsenal,
I think that's
Brentford away. I can't remember that. Brentford haven't beaten us at their ground, have they? I mean, we drew 2-2, we drew 0-0, blah, blah. We won 2-0 there last year, I think. Sunderland, I don't know much about. I haven't even seen them play, I don't think. Then we get Bournemouth. Then
Oh.
Villa in the FA Cup at home, where they're flying. And I think they haven't lost for 10 or they won 10 on the spin, something like that.
10 wins out of 10, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got West Ham at home. Dortmund to get us through to the playoffs at least. A draw would do it, I reckon. But I don't know how good Dortmund are. I don't think they're as good as the team we beat at Wembley when Vertonghen did his Superman impression. Then we got Burnley. I mean, this isn't bad. I mean, you could say Palace would be tough. And
Palace, it's a loss. Sunderland, I think they're missing 6 or 7 players to AFCON. So I think we'll beat them. Bournemouth is probably going to be, I would say, a draw because they're pretty decent at home. Villa is a loss. West Ham, it's a win. Dortmund, I think maybe 3 wins and maybe a couple of draws. But I don't see us going on a run, unfortunately.
Yeah, but you're forgetting about the 3 quality players we're bringing in the first week of January.
Exactly. Yeah, Semenyo, Yamal, and somebody. Yeah, exactly.
Lamar, Nico Williams.
Yeah,
There's not been much talk about him recently. He's still at Betis, is he? Where is he? Bilbao?
Yeah, he's overrated for me.
I'll take him.
Well,
yeah.
Gary, how many
choosers? But yeah,
how many of these? How many points do we getting?
I mean, that's 9 games in 4 weeks, isn't it? So that's a lot of games.
2 cup games, though, or 3
Yeah.
3 cup games. Frankfurt away, right? Sorry.
Yeah, so a lot of games in there. We definitely need some recruitment in January. It's fortunate we're not going to get Semenyo. He's going to Man City, which is a shame. Yeah, he's going to Man City.
Eden boys.
How long have you been sitting there? Because you're
Bro, a while. I've been knocking on the door. Let me in. Let me in.
You know these two?
Adrian, I'm going to tap out. My headset's gone, but I'm going to have to tap out. But thank you so much. If my headset comes back, I'll drop back in, but it keeps cutting out.
No, didn't mean to keep you so long anyway. I mean, actually,
that's fine.
I've been trying to get him on, but we just keep missing opportunities. That's all it is.
Yeah, like I say, 9 games in those 4 weeks is going to be really tough. I'm expecting us. Palace have just had Chris Richards stretchered off. That's a key injury for them. They stretched it off tonight. Palace, I've gone 90 minutes plus injury time plus a penalty shootout, and then they've got a player. So hopefully they might be a little bit tired, but they've got a bit of a festive break. Brentford that's going to be hard because they're going to want to beat Thomas Frank, obviously. Sunderland's going to be difficult again. Bournemouth are kind of in and around us. They're going to lose Semenyo. See how are they going to produce without him at home. Villa are just fantastic at the moment, aren't they, really? And then West Ham,
one-off game.
Yeah. West Ham, we have to beat them because my whole family is West Ham fans, so I have to win that game. And then, the two Champions League games, we just need 1 win out of that. Quietly confident we can do that. So it's going to be interesting, but we definitely need to recruit in January. I think it's a pivotal moment. And these are just coming back on for some weird reason. They're noise reduction, so everything is now gone like, shroom. It's I can hear myself again. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens in January because it's a really pivotal month for not only Thomas but for us as a fan base, really.
Well, we'll carry on for a minute because Ash has just come on. Like Ash, what you do for your Christmas?
What am I doing for my Christmas?
Yeah.
Family, just family food, and good times, man. Music and enjoyment and lots of alcohol.
Yeah. So, what do you think of this?
Yeah. So I have to echo what Gary was saying in terms of Palace. We've had the longer rest, so for me, there's no excuses. We've got to win that game. That game in particular. You could say with Liverpool, there might be the excuse where you could look at it and say, oh, we had 9 men, or we had the momentum after Richarlison scored and blah, blah, blah. And maybe people weren't looking at Frank in that game in isolation. But I just think, away from home, we just need to get those points. We need to get those points. We need to get those wins. And it's important because the January window is among us now. And it would be very detrimental to go into a January window to try and sell a project to a player anyway and say, look, come to us. but we're like 15th in the league because currently we're sitting at 14th. That's the reason why I'm saying that it's got to be a win, and that's why I'm spending so long on it. But weaknesses, as we said before, Munoz, he's out injured. He was imperative to the way they built up and the way they attacked down the right-hand side. He's missing. And as Gary said already, Richards, their third centre-back, right-sided, sometimes steps into midfield as well to help with their midfield options. He's very important. So if he's missing, who they bring in for them? So yeah, we've got to win that game. I know we're missing obviously Romero because he's suspended, and we're missing Xavi as well because obviously he's going to miss 3 games. So we're going to miss that. Some people say we'll miss that creative spark, but even when he went off, we went to 10 men. I didn't even really notice. I'll be honest with you. It didn't even feel like we missed him much. So are we going to miss Xavi? I don't really know, but I would assume that. I don't know why he's not using Odegaard. So because I think Odegaard gives us a little bit more width, but I think that he'll put Moani on the left and put Richarlison up top. That's what I reckon that Frank's going to do. Whether I agree with that, like I said, I don't know why he's not using wider players in that position that are more natural in that area. I don't know what he's thinking there, but
yeah. Do you think that then if Xavi's not playing there because Bergvall likes to wander, just play him as the 10?
Yeah, Bergvall could come in at 10, but I just think
behind him, haven't you?
I just think for the left-hand side, Bergvall won't be on the left anymore, will he? So it would either be Richarlison. Sorry, it would either be Moani, because I think Richarlison will go up top. I think it would either be Moani, because of his height and his physicality. I think that's what Frank puts respect on. That's why Odegaard's not getting so much game time at the moment, because against Arsenal, I think that was the last game that he had a noticeable start. After that, he's been coming on, like he hasn't been starting games. So I think Frank looks at physicality, height, Premier League, can you win your duels, etc., etc. That's why you're seeing a Richarlison on the left or a Moani on the left, because they got the height and physicality and the stature. So that's the reason why I don't think he will start on that position. But yeah, I think Bergvall could be the 10. Yeah, even though I profile him as a 10, I think he's an 8.
I don't think you have a choice unless you play Odegaard in the 10.
No, unless you play Odegaard or Kudus. Kudus could play in the 10 potentially.
In the 10.
And then play Johnson off the right. But like Johnson's obviously been linked to Palace. I think they will play him better because they play with Sarr like just behind Mateta, off Mateta as a secondary striker on that 10. And I think Johnson would do well being a secondary striker, playing off a tall man. Do you know what I'm saying? But going on to the other games, Brentford, I think that could be the writing on the walls. If we don't get the Palace job done, I think Brentford, because they're going to want to, they've got a point to prove, right? They've got the point to prove. They obviously lost the home leg, and we know their tactics, but they also know our tactics as well. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens with that result. But I think, we must get points in this period, because February, I'm going to talk about the other games, but February, Newcastle, Manchester United. Listen, there's a bag of games in February. Like, if we don't get points on the board by February, we could be talking about something we don't want to talk about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Ash, if we beat Man United or Man City again, we get to keep them. You know what I mean? I mean, Man United haven't beaten us for 8 games. The last 8 games we played them.
Yeah, but Adrian, I look at that last game. That last game, I wasn't convinced. Do you know what I mean? That those goals we scored against them, the deflected goals, and it wasn't a convincing Man United draw. Do you know what I mean? We were losing. Remember, we lost that goal right at the depth. It's not like we completely own United. Do you know what I'm saying? City, I get it. That we're just their bogey team, but it's things like that where I start to worry. Aston Villa, we got in that February period as well, or Aston Villa we got in obviously in this period here. So that again, I think that will make us very sour if we don't win, because we'll be out of a cup and then we've got nothing to play for. Champions League obviously will be in that competition, but let's face it, Champions League, you know what I mean? It's not like a competition where we can really go far in my opinion, or we can do real damage. But Sunderland is interesting because they've got a bag of players gone off to AFCON. They did draw against Leeds in their last game, and I'm looking at them thinking, can we get a result there? They've done really well this season. They've been a team that shocked a lot of teams. Chelsea didn't get points there. Arsenal being stunned there. You know, they've got a few points from some of these top teams. So that won't be an easy game, even though we'll be at home. But we know our home record at the moment is not great either. So I'm just looking at so many games and I'm like, where do we get our 3 points, our 6 points, our 9 points? We need to go on a run, in my opinion. That's what I need to see from Frank. He needs to string.
I get your point on the early games because I can see us beating West Ham and Burnley. I mean, like Burnley have only got 2 points or something, aren't they? But like you say, the pressure on Mount. I think Frank's safe though. I think, as the other guys have alluded to earlier, if ENIC were to admit they made a mistake bringing him in, how embarrassing for them anyway. I just don't see him doing it, even if it got bad, because you're not going to bring no one else in anyway. If you get rid of him and you do it in the summer, if things don't improve by then, he shows that he's got something about him that he can manage this club.
I don't know, man. I just feel like these players, if they're not buying into him and it's clear they're not playing for him, do you know what I'm saying? Like Romero's already doing what he wants, getting sent off. You see Jed Spence, his face when he was subbed off, like, and there was no like repercussions of that. Obviously, Mickey Van der Ven against Chelsea, he threw his top down and walked past him, blanked him. So if that continues, then and the performances keep going down, they're gonna have to. It's gonna leak out into the press. Boring sessions, you know how it goes. Sessions are boring. We're tired. The tactics. We don't have our own style of play. That's already come out. We don't have a style. We keep focusing on the opposition. That's the reason why there was so much pressure against him to win against Brentford to have his own style. Like that win was massive for him. Do you get it? So that's the reason why I'm like, yeah, I hear what you guys are saying. Like essentially, it's gonna look bad on them. The only way they could get out of it is saying, you know what, that was Levy's signing. You know, I mean, they could kind of angle it and say, yeah, he wanted him in, and you know, maybe they could squirm their way out of that and then have
but they don't get away with it, ENIC. I mean, Levy was the front man for 25 years. ENIC was still owners of the football club. They could have
I know. Yeah, that's correct. But I'm saying in terms of PR, because Levy's gone now, they can say that ultimately he was part of the decision making, and that's why they're going to be able to get rid of him, because we're moving into a new chapter, new manager. We're looking at new managers at the moment, and apparently, well, obviously not apparently, Matty Wells has just left, right? Matt Wells has gone to, I'm sure you lot discussed it, Colorado. Yeah. So apparently the club want a number 2 in. They want to interview a 2 because Matty Wells, apparently he was interviewed for the number 2 job before he got it from Frank. Do you know what I mean? So the question is, does Frank get his number 2 in, or does the club come in and bring his own number 2 in? And that's why there's been rumors about Ryan Mason coming back because he's not doing too well at West Brom. Do you get it? So, no, but that's the rules at the moment. That's what's going on.
Ash, if Ryan Mason's coming back, you know that Frank is going to be sacked, and we're going to have Ryan Mason third time around.
This is the point I'm making, Eugene. This is exactly the point I'm making. So look, like, let's hope it doesn't get to that. Do you know what I mean? I'm hoping that we get those points on the board, we start to get momentum, we get a bit of hope, and we do some damage in this January window. I know a lot of people aren't really hopeful because of our previous windows, and January is meant to be typically a hard window. I think it's bullshit because Man City last season in January bought 5 players. Do you understand? So if they could go out and get 5 players,
we've had some good buys in January. I mean, we've got Deli in, we've got Dickey in, we've got Bentancur in, we've got Porro in, we've got Romero.
Notoriously,
right, we've got Dan Coomer as well, right? But
January window, we always do business. There hasn't been a window when we haven't got a player in January. We got Jagushin in January. Do you know what I mean? There was so much hype about him. I know he hasn't done well. He's been linked to Roma at the moment with a possible loan move, obligation of 30 million. Juventus are asking for him, 18 and I'm looking for him. So yeah, like the point I'm making is, look, I think we will be busy in January. I don't know the caliber of player, but this is the reason why I'm hoping Semenyo does go to Man City, for example, because if he does go to Man City, then hopefully we can do business with Man City and say, look, we'll take a Savio on loan, for example, a Savinho on loan with an option, because let's face it, if it's 70 million,
we dodged the bullet, Ash. Like I said before, with Savio, we dodged the big bullet. 70 million.
Crazy. Yeah, 100%. We did 100%. The only caveat I can say with him is that they play him on the right a lot, and he produces more on the left. When he's played on that left, he seems to produce. The 2 assists that he got for this season has been from the left. He's been injured for a long period of the season. Last season, all of his assists, most of his assists, I think he had about 5 or 4 from the left. The others are from the right. So, and again, when he was at Girona, he was playing predominantly on the left, where he got, I think it was 10 goals and 9 assists. And even when he was at Athletic from Brazil, the club, and he was at Brazil, again, his numbers that were impressive, he was deployed on the left-hand side. You know what I mean? So
I think what helps him as well is he's got a connection with Xavi Simons from PSG.
Exactly. Right. And then they did that thing in it. They did the whole, you know. But anyway, Marmoush, again, like you could say again, they've got a connection with Colomwani, because at Frankfurt, those two players linked up. They played in the front two as well. And when they got rid of Colomwani, that's when they brought Ekatike in to replace him. But before that, with Mamouche and Colomwani, they were creating havoc under Glasner at Frankfurt. Do you know what I mean? So
both.
there's partnership there that could be reunited, that it could work. But again, it's me being a fan. Hope you take as a pinch of salt, bro, because more
It work with different tactics, Ash. With different tactics.
Different tactics.
Work with different tactics.
You're right, because Mamouche, again, transitional. At Frankfurt,
exactly.
ultra transitional. Moani, again, transitional. That's where he thrived. You know what I'm saying? In PSG, he wasn't so transitional. Didn't quite work. Juventus, he did have a good, was it 2-1 ratio? Like, why is it that they're coming to Spurs and all of a sudden they're not performing? Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping we do get good profiles in behind them, not just like a Savio or just a Mamouche. Hopefully we get players in behind them that help support them. And because I think we've got a massive creativity issue at the moment, as well as a goal scoring issue, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, my hope is that City sign Semenyo on the 1st of Jan, because otherwise we're going to mess around talking to him for some reason until the very end of the month. He's going to go to City anyways, and we're going to do a panic buy on the very last day of the window. So hopefully he goes to City on the 1st of Jan. So we have a whole month to focus on actually somebody who can come to us. Because Semenyo's
it's
not
pretty
coming.
much already done, isn't it? It's already done. He's going to City.
I hope so.
That's the report from Romano, who's already said it's pretty much done.
It's going to be fine, guys. We've got 6 league games here. We're getting 18 points and we're winning the 3 cup games. All right. So, like, sorted. How many points we getting, Ash, out of this lot? Come on. Jax, man, you've got to get him on your show.
Whoa,
Gary.
where's that come from? Whoa, where's that come from? All right. Frank, well, that means Frank's staying. By your logic, if he's got 18 points, he's definitely staying. I'm not as optimistic. You know what? I'm worried about this Dortmund game as well. You know, we normally own Dortmund as well. Dortmund's the team we always beat.
Like Frankfurt as well. We're all beating them in Europe.
Yeah, like I agree with you. Burnley, we get points. I'll give 3 points for Burnley. Frankfurt, we could do a job. I'll be optimistic. We could do a job. We could do a job with Frankfurt. I'll be optimistic. Dortmund, no. West Ham, yes. So that's 6 points in the league. Villa, no, we get knocked out. sorry, Adrian.
Well, they're probably the toughest team out of this lot, actually, Villa, to be honest. Yeah.
Is it Bournemouth? Oh, yeah. Bournemouth are tricky.
That's a point. That's a point.
Bournemouth for Jekyll and Hyde. I know they've fallen off a cliff since they've had that little run right at the start of the season.
And will Semenyo be gone or not played to not get an injury if he's going
early
to go?
Though 4th of Jan. Oh, because it's between the 1st and the 10th they've got activated, right? But it's the 4th of Jan that we play them, so that's pretty soon. So I don't know if that's his last game, then Semenyo could play. But they do have players like Tavernier. I like him. I think he's all right. I don't want him to come to us, but I just think he's decent. Decent attacking player. They've got Evan Nilsson, of course. He's a good striker. Altera, people don't rate him. I think he's decent. They've got players. They've got what's it called? Kluivert. Kluivert hasn't really performed this season for me, but I thought he was amazing last season. But when they're in the groove, forget all of that. Alex Scott, all the rest of them. When they're in the groove, they're just a hard team to beat, and we just don't do well when teams man to man press us, especially when we're trying to play out from the back. We just don't tend to do well. And away from home, I just say, look, the most I can give us is a point against Bournemouth, because it's that congestion fix. It's like when we get 2 games a week, it's like we panic. We don't have clear vision. We can't manage it well. And I just see us dropping maybe some good, maybe some shit. That's how I feel about Spurs in that congested period. So I'm going to give us a point, which gives me, 7 points? And then Brentford. Oh, Brentford's a tough one. Brentford and Palace.
We always win there. We're like, we draw or we win there.
Palace we should win because we've got the day's rest, but this is Spurs, man. I'm not confident of any game. I'll be honest with you. Like I've been burnt so much. I remember last season, I was like, come on, we'll beat Wolves. We lost against Wolves. Ipswich, we'll beat Ipswich. It's Besiktas. Like, there's so many games when I'm like, Fulham, surely not. And then Fulham come and dunk on us. I just can't call it with Spurs. I'll be honest with you. As much as I want to be a fan, and it's just a part of me, it's been burnt so much. I just really can't call it. But I'm gonna say about 8 points. Yeah.
Have you seen anything in the play reason to see that Frank is trying to change things? I've seen a couple of things, but I need to see them on a more consistent basis.
Have I seen anything from Frank to suggest? You know what's funny? I'll rewatch that game against Liverpool, and I'll rewatch that goal we conceded, and it was funny because Liverpool had the ball in our box, and then Bergvall won it on the edge of the box, and Bergvall does what Bergvall does. He carries the ball. That's what he does. He likes to carry the ball a lot, and I prefer if he passes. Anyway, he carries the ball into Kudos, so he kind of shuts off the space because players are following him back because it's more of a transitional counter-attack moment. And as he gives the ball to Kudos, there's no space for Kudos to turn because he's literally ran to the byline, you know. And then so what Kudos has to do, he has to go back on himself instead of running and facing his man up. Frank is on the sidelines and he's like, pass it square. That's what he said. Pass it square. So what he does is he passes it into the middle of the pitch into Bentancur. Bentancur gets on the ball and then Kudos moves off the marker. Bentancur gives it back to him. And then what Kudos does is he passes it back to Romero. Now, what Kudos does, he tries to run and make an angle so Romero can give him that pass back. But what Romero does, he sees Moani in space because Moani was the free man in all the midst of that happening. That if he got that pass forward, if Bergvall had passed that ball earlier and then Kudos did a quick switch, it would have got to Moani. But anyway, Romero sees that pass that should have happened and he goes to pass it to Moani and it's the wrong pass, of course. He should have passed it back to Kudos or to Vicario or to his teammate Van der Ven. That pass wasn't on. Anyway, we lose that ball. The point I'm making is Frank wanted to slow down the attack, which for me is wrong timing. Do you understand? It's pragmatic, in my opinion. And I think the underlying principles of Thomas Frank is play it safe. Don't lose the game. That's what I get from Frank, in my opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's certain times when I'm like, Frank wants to be direct and he wants to win his duels, but that's when we're 1-0 down, 2-0 down. It's the wrong time because I believe in game state. There's times to manage the game and then there's time to play a bit quicker and time to speed it up. At that point when it was 0-0, I don't think he should have slowed the game down at that point. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially on a counter-attack. I think we could hurt them. And so I just think those are the moments what Frank's getting wrong and he's giving out the wrong instruction because if you notice, Kudos' form's dipped. And I think they're telling him, Rob, we don't want you to go 1v1 no more. We want you to turn in and pass it sideways, slow it down, link up with the players a little bit more. And so now you're seeing Kudos less 1v1 and less higher up the pitch. You're seeing him a lot deeper in the pitch and he's trying to combine with players. And sometimes as a result, he's not doing what he does essentially normally. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's an instruction. Me personally, that's what I particularly think.
That's the thing. That's the question I had. Oh, so like that, I was like every time that we have a chance for a counter, we slow it down. Drives me crazy. Whether it's Spence passing it, like I'm like Spence, just pass it into space. Bentancur pass it into space. Every time there's a chance, we have runners, we pass it back. And I'm not sure if it's the players or if it's the tactics, but drives me insane. Because if Frank play this style of football, cool. But we got to be able to hurt teams on the counter. But we don't do either. We give up possession and we don't play on the counter. So what do we do? So I don't know if it's the players or if it's Frank, but like drives me crazy.
How many goals have you seen that have come from a counter attack?
Not like we don't pass to space. When I coach my kids, I'm like, hey, just pass the ball into space, just run onto the ball. We don't do any through passes. We don't pass into space. We just like pass it back and forth, and we slow it down every single time. Drives me nuts. I just yell at the TV every time.
Glenn Hoddle used to say, "I want the ball at the opponent's penalty area in 4 passes. That's what I want to do." We don't see enough running on the ball. We don't see enough bravery. Don't see enough risk taking. Even Potts said, "Take risks in the final third." but then you're getting a ball down to a winger and there's no one in the box. This 2 wingers with 1 forward up front, I think we would better. You'd be better if like playing possibly with 1 winger and then like a 9 and a 10, more central, because most forwards you see in the Premier League games I watch is robotic horseshoe football.
Mhm.
And in coaching, it says like you get up. There's 18 zones on the pitch. Don't want to bore people with stuff like this, but
Yeah,
zone
go for
14 is like just a zone. It's a zone outside.
Edge of the D.
Zones
Edge of
outside
the
the
D,
penalty area. And if the ball's passed from left to right, within more goals are scored within the first 30 seconds to a minute in the area. When you pass it over to the right, and like Eugene says, then you go back over the left again, then you go back over to the right again. Why isn't there no innovative managers out there no more? I mean, Frank is not a to-do-ist to dare manager. We had Nicholson, we had Birkinshaw, we had Venables, we had Yole, even our dealers and all played it. You had Poch, right? I mean, our motto is to do is to dare, or there is facere, right? And like, why? And under Level, you bring in Jose, Conte, Nuno. I mean, the modern game is like not to lose. They're not in it. They're world class run right, and what they've done at their teams and fantastically successful. But when people ask me about them, I said, this is going to end. Well, I said badly.
But Adrian, under Conte, at least we did play on the counter. At least you knew exactly what Conte was trying to do with Son and Kane.
But that was
the ball. Now we don't do it.
Yeah, but what's draining the likes of me and Gary and Ash when we go to the stadium is when you're watching Conte ball, when you're winning, you're getting fourth, that's great. But when that style of play, which is playing an 8-3 basically, I mean 4-2-3-1 is a 7-4, right? It's more like an 8-3. And he had Kane and Son, right, to get the results for him. But when that doesn't work, it is the most painful watch when you're sitting at that stable. And I'm sick and tired of being drained watching the way we play at the stadium. I'm sick and tired of it. I've seen us play so much better, with poorer squads. This squad should be good.
It's risk averse, bro, because even when we were pinned in and Liverpool had the ball, like Adrian was saying, how many players are we leaving at the top? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I call it, you've got rest defense where behind the ball, when you're in possession, you might have 3 or 4 players, or you might have 5 players. There's the averse, there's the opposite of that, when the other team have the ball and you're pinned in, but then you need 1 or 2 players higher up so that you have an out ball. Do you know what I'm saying? When I'm watching Spurs, I'm like, who's our out ball at times? Sometimes we're just defending as that the whole team's all the way back. We don't have 1 or 2 players there
and
that we can.
And it's too predictable, Ash. It's too predictable when we haven't fixed the left wing option because everything goes out to Kudos. And other teams know that.
But saying that, nice one, Gary. I don't know if you got to go. But,
I've got to go. I apologise.
Gary, sorry to keep you so long, mate. We'll get you back. Right, you won't escape our clutches. Like say, under an 8, if you're watching us, get over to Project Spurs and get over to Spurs Kings of Ash. He's brilliant with the stats, right? And I'm sure Gary will be coming calling for you, Ash, as well, right? So yeah. You're both in our WhatsApp group, so
thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Gary.
All the best. Have a great Christmas, everyone.
Love you. Okay. Yeah. So,
I was gonna say, like, it'll be interesting in the window because this could change the fortunes. And this is the hopium in me, because we were having a debate yesterday, and one of the guests was saying, if you look at Poch's era, if you took out Moussa Dembele out of that team, we look quite stodgy. So we had Harry Winks in that midfield and we had Sissoko. And in those games where we had Harry Winks and Sissoko and there was no Moussa Dembele, we didn't look like the same team. We were missing. So his argument was sometimes you just need that one player that kind of transforms the way you play in that midfield to help us to progress it forward. And then he made another example when it was I think it was under Harry Redknapp, maybe. Or he said if we took out maybe Luka Modric, like how did the team look when we didn't have, or Michael Carrick, how did the team look when we didn't have those type of players? So it's just 1 or 2 midfield positions. Maybe that's what Frank needs to kind of help turn this whole situation around where we play a little bit progressive. But again, I'm not as positive as that because I just look at the way we play.
I just look at the way. Because you know what, like, if like under Poch, yes, if we didn't have Dembele or even under Ange, let's say, right,
Yeah.
We generated chances, we just couldn't finish. So you can say we can't finish because of the lack of quality. You can say wings cannot do what Dembele does, but at least Poch, like at least you can see what Poch is trying to do. Right
Yeah.
now, I don't think even my concern is even if we get better players, I'm not sure if Frank is gonna utilize them in that way. Do you know what I mean? I'm just
Yeah,
not
I
seeing
understand
like
completely.
I think he's holding him back. I don't think it's the quality issue per se. I mean, it is, but the biggest issue is not the quality. It's that Frank is too cautious. So even if we get a Semenyo or whoever else at the 6 or at an 8, I'm concerned that Frank is not going to change things up. Like I liked when he played 2 9s.
Yeah.
We looked decent. Or even in the beginning of the season when he played Sar the 10 and we press teams. We look good pressing teams. Now Sar can get a minute. Now we don't do the 2 9s again. It was just I just don't see what the philosophy is from Frank. So if we get 2 better players or 3 better players, I'm not confident that he's gonna change things up and it's gonna make a big difference.
Well,
You know what I mean?
what I've seen is I've noticed that he likes the Bergvall Graham midfield, and you know Xavi's going to be the 10, right? Until Madison comes back or Decky comes in, they might alternate. So it's just the Bentancur who signed a new contract and the Polina. I'd like to see someone like a David Fratesi brought in that was a number 8 box to box, up and down, dog of war, chips in with goals. The thing with Bentancur and Paulina is very good at what he does. I don't think we're going to sign him in the summer because we need to create room in midfield. And I think, and he hasn't got the legs to get left or right. It's not his style of play. He hasn't. And Bentancur, go on.
I was going to say, I don't think we need another vertical up and down player, even though I'm not opposed to a player like that. But I would prefer a player, if he was vertical up and down like that, likes to carry the ball, I would want a progressive passer with it, if that makes sense. So his first thought isn't always to carry the ball up into the box or carry the ball, like, because we've got quite a lot of those type of players that like to get the ball and run with it. I would prefer someone that's able to get the ball, pass it, and move, ask for it again, spray it, switch the play, or he could, or if he wanted to, he could get on a half turn, press resistant, because a lot of our players, they're not press resistant. That's the reason why the ball's going backwards, it's going sideways. How many times have you seen a player receive the ball under pressure in the middle of the pitch and then get on a half turn and turn his man and then be able to drive up the field? We haven't really seen that. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the times when you see the players drive with the ball, it means that there's space. Do you know what I mean?
We're not getting an Adam Wharton in January. We're not getting Adam Wharton in January, though.
No, we're not going to get Adam Wharton. I know there's an argument that Prem proven. A lot of people want Prem proven, but I want to go back to that profile. I want to go back to that where, okay, they're not proven in the Premier League, but at least they have the attributes we need to move forward, meaning they got good level of medium pass range. Like they can spray it on the floor, they can pick out, they can pass through the lines.
Can Krul be that 8, Ash?
Huh?
Can Kulusevski be that 8?
Monaco. I'll take
Kulusevski potentially.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take Akalus. Sorry, Eugene, what are you saying?
Oh, I'm saying can Kulusevski be potentially the 8? Because I don't see him on the right. He's too slow. He needs to be a 10 or an 8.
The passing ability, that's where, like, in the final thirds, maybe, but to break lines when teams are settled, to pass and be aggressive and be brave and punch it, like someone that can punch through the lines. When I say punch it, pass the ball along the floor with pace. That's the only way. I remember watching a documentary of Mourinho, and he was saying to Dele Alli, if you want to get the ball to this guy, you have to hit the ball with pace along the floor. That's the only way you're going to get it to X, Y, and Z. And there's no players at the moment that when they get on the ball, they're brave enough to say, look, I can see you and I'm going to get it to you. Do you know what I mean? What they will do, they will see that player, but they won't play that pass. There will be no, next time you watch the game, look at it. There will be a player in an advanced position that can receive the ball. Doesn't matter if there's a player on them. Will they receive that pass? They will not. The player on the ball will want to play it safe, give it to one of the other, one of their other teammates, and just keep it moving. And that's why it goes sideways, backwards. It's never forward. It's never with intent.
Ash, if you watch Nathaniel Brown.
Yes, I have watched him many times. I watched him 2 years ago. I watched him against us when we played him. When we played against him.
Frankfurt, yeah.
Yeah. He used to use he's English. Oh, he's not
No,
English.
he's German American.
He's German, but he's
American parents, I think.
You know, I can't remember if he played. I need to get the details up on him. I can't remember if because it's Nathaniel Brown. I remember that name stands out.
He's 22, I think. He is a German international, but I think one of his parents they're American or they're both American. He was born in Germany. One of them things, I think.
Good player, but he does live in that kind of half space pocket. Like he does kind of live in that, like he's not an out and out. He's quick, yeah, he's quick. But what I'm saying, I knew it was Championship. Yeah, Champions League. No, wait, hold on. No, let me get the proper stats up. Yeah, so he like when he gets the ball, he picks it up a bit like Udogie, powerful runner, but in the inside channel. He doesn't always, from what I've seen of him, he doesn't always go on the outside. He likes to go on the inside quite a bit. But yeah, very talented player. Like him a lot.
Okay, can you name, because you do the stats a lot more. I mean, I go when we get interest, I'll get the videos, I'll bombard Eugene, everyone with yourself and all that. But any other left backs? Any other left backs out there?
There was a left back we were looking at, and he was from Wolfsburg. I think he's Greek. His name's Kokaris. I think it's how you pronounce his name. And he can also play left-sided centre back, so he's like a dual player. He's one to watch out for, because I know Mackenzie has been scouting him. They've been looking at him, but he comes from Wolfsburg, which is the same club that obviously Van der Ven came from there, and obviously Lacroix that plays at Crystal Palace also came from that club as well. So that's one player to look out for. There's a guy called Smets. He's a left-sided centre back, also a good player. We've already mentioned Brown. I've spoke about Loco before on my channel. Loco, he's a French player, comes from Brest. Yeah.
Loco.
So I like him too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay.
But there's quite a few. There's a guy called Gutierrez as well. He's a left back, up and down. So there's quite a few left backs out in the market.
Have you looked at
Sporting? But obviously you'll cost an arm and leg. But he's a left-sided centre back that can play left back.
On the left wing? Have you looked at Gotts at Ajax or Diamandi?
Yes, I've looked at Gotts. Gotts is, for me, he's like my number one-ish pick.
Diamandi?
You know what it is? Do you know what it is with Gotts? The why he's my number one pick, but he's not my number one pick because I don't trust the Netherlands. I don't. It's like Netherlands and Belgium are being burnt too much, but Gotts and Cholis, like Cholis is obviously he's from Club Brugge, he's from Belgium. Their output is what you would want from your wide players, but the reason why I like them is because he's got the ability to combine, and he's got an eye for a through ball, which is something that we need. So you don't normally associate a left winger being a playmaker. So that's what I think is slightly different to what we have in the Kudos. Kudos is a 1v1 merchant, and they're trying to get him to be more of a midfielder by linking up with the players next to him. This guy Gotts, he does that naturally. He's a player. It reminds me of when Ericsson first came to us. We used him on the left because at Ajax he started on the left, and we bought him as a left player because remember we did the Magnificent Seven when we sold Bell. So he was a part. He came on and started on the left. That guy is similar mold where he's not just the man that is very good, technical, good in tight spaces, good feet, quick feet. He's got a good, peripheral vision. Again, spatial awareness on the half turn, press resistant. I like the fact that he can see a pass early, so he's got that Madison vision, quickly form, finds a difficult pass. It's not easy. That's the type of winger I like, rather than just a 1v1 demon, go on the outside, cross it. And I like the way he
Diamandi at Leipzig.
Huh? Diamandi, he's a unique talent. He's 100 million. He's having his first breakout season. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, American. He was in but what's it called? The American League.
He's Ivory Coast. Diamandi.
He's Ivory Coast, but he came from the USA, innit? He came from MLS. He came from the MLS, and then Leipzig took him on loan, and then they made him a permanent, didn't they? And then this season's been his breakout season, and then ever since he's like both-footed. He's played on the right, he's played on the left, similar to Semenyo. But in terms of take-ons, he's a higher level than what Semenyo is in terms of like 1v1 ability. Bundesliga is slightly better as well, and or overall, he's probably the
Absolutely.
best player in that position. But
Yeah.
100 million for a 20-year-old is outrageous.
Yeah.
And again, the risk is way too much. Again, one season, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. That's the reason why I would like. I look at these other wingers and I'm like, you know, it's still a risk, but
Yeah.
the cost is less.
Obviously, we've got to cater for the first team squad, but there's one
Do we?
kid. Well, we've got to bring players in that we hope from Europe that are good enough to go in the first team, right?
Yeah.
But there's one kid I particularly like.
Mhm.
I just think he looks brilliant. Nathan DeCat. Have you seen him?
Yeah. Nathan the Cat's good. He's good. Again, it's like another young player.
17 though. He's 17.
Yeah, he's very young. Like, he's a lot of these.
Can he
At
ping a
least,
ball?
at
And
least,
his
at least
vision.
with Götze, right? He's 20 years old. Do you know what I'm saying? He's played Europa, Champions League. He's got that experience behind him. He's come from the academy. Like 20-year-olds, 21, 22 is ideal. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I want. But again, if you're 20 and you've got 2 or 3 seasons on your belt, I'm not mad at it. But if you're the Cat and it's the breakout season again, and obviously he's doing bits in the academy, and that's why they moved him forward, because I think he was 15 and he was playing with the under-19s. So he's playing with men, like guys 3 years older than him, 2 years older than him, 4 years older than him, and he's bossing it. Then he's obviously made his debut as a 17-year-old, and he's still holding his own. But again, it's that league in Belgium, because I remember scouting a player from Belgium, and he went to Burnley. Maybe it wasn't. No, it wasn't him. I forgot the guy's name, but basically, he's the one that broke my heart.
Orban, was it? Wasn't that Orban? Gift Orban?
No, it wasn't Orban. Yeah, he was from Belgium as well, wasn't he?
He was.
Everyone got excited about Orban. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Orban. It was a guy. He actually went to Burnley, and yeah, he was doing numbers in Belgium. He looked awesome as well. I tell you, okay, Yashari. You guys heard of him? Yashari is in the Belgian league. Lots of people are like, oh, he looks mustard. I remember Sava talking about him. I just didn't trust it. I said, I can't do it. I can't get on the board. Now he's gone to AC Milan. He's not doing piss. You know what I'm saying? He was meant to,
and it's Italy too. Like,
and it's Italy as well. Yeah. Exactly. It makes it even worse.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, bro, I can't do it. I know the Cat, again, he's got a lovely passing range. He's combative. He's physical. He's got legs on him. Covers the ground. He plays that DM role well. He can play centre mid as well. Again, combining, he does that, like all the little tick. But again, it's just when it comes down to that, can he make the jump? I'm scared.
Most can't. But that's the issue. As even the proven players like Wirtz and Simmons, who bossed it like in Germany, you can tell the drop off is pretty big. And on the left,
they're gonna need time. They're gonna need time. They're not gonna.
Yeah.
We need players. We need players that are gonna. This January, they're gonna do bits for us now. Do you know what I'm saying?
And on the left, we have Odeberg, we have Tell, Mikey Moore is in the wings. Like, we cannot buy another youngster. Like, we need a top player who can start for us day in and day out.
You see, when it's League One, yeah, or League whatever you want to call it, the French league, I'll give them more grace because look, you've got Turkey, for example. Turkey's obviously come from Lyon, and he just came and he just. Yeah, Doku come from Belgium, to be fair.
Yeah, but our track record, and Kudu, Njai, we had a terrible record from the French league. I don't want wingers from France, man. Lucas Moura, did we buy anybody else?
PSG. He came from PSG, didn't he?
Yeah, from France. I'm like Njai, or I don't know how you say his name, and Kudu, or
Njai and Kudu. Yeah.
I mean, terrible.
From Leo, was it Leo?
Yeah. Our track record isn't great.
Yeah, but our track record isn't great. But I'm saying in the league, you could say there's 1 or 2 players from that league that have translated all right.
You basically should sign a player who's got the letter N in his surname, because you've got Navy, exactly. Norton.
They say Noosa's all right, but he's injured all the time.
Yeah,
that's the only problem.
Have you got any players you've got your eye on, Eugene?
Like, I've had these debates with everybody, like everybody else. Like, given where we are, I want Prem proven. Like, we have so many average players. As a club, we're not united if, like, where we can spend 60, 70 million. If it doesn't work out, we go again. If we make a mistake, we have to live with that mistake for 3, 4, 5 years. So we cannot afford to buy somebody for 60 million, like Simmons, who's not contributing. So I want somebody who's proven.
don't you think we need to change that approach? Because
we do,
Chelsea,
but
for example,
do you think we will?
I know this, but this is what the new board's about. The new boards are meant to continuously.
Is it new board,
no, I mean,
though?
not the new board. I mean the same board, not the new board. The same board.
Yeah.
Let me stop right there. I apologize, but I'm saying Chelsea, for example. I know we're not Chelsea. Let's calm down. But I'm just saying with Chelsea, they went out and they bought, for example, what's his face that plays for Arsenal now, Noni Madueke. Yeah, they bought Noni Madueke like
He was
last
at Spurs.
week. I know he was at Spurs. I know. He went to PSV, right? He went to PSV and they bought him 50 million. No problem. Boom. All right, cool. He's not working out. All right, send him to Arsenal. Next. Do you know what I'm saying? Gittins. All right. Gittins ain't really working right now. All right, cool. They tried to look at Semenyo right now, but obviously they pulled out because they've got too many wingers. But that's the kind of mentality. Look, they just bought Garnacho and they're realizing, oh, you know what? Garnacho's not really our cup of tea. We bought him for 40, 50 million. We're going to sell him.
Well, they can
no
sell,
problem.
but we cannot sell. That's the issue.
So, but yeah, I'm saying, like, Rob, at least we have to have that type of attitude where we're not holding on to players. For example, Johnson, top scorer, scored in the final.
What's happening with Nico Williams then?
Nico Williams has got he wants 400 grand. He wants like 400
he's overrated.
He wants 400,000.
Yeah.
And so I think Arsenal are looking at him, and I can't remember who else. I think Arsenal and someone else are looking at him in the summer.
Yeah, Yildiz is a shout.
They have to offload before Yildiz. I just don't think he'll come to Tottenham.
Yeah, no,
even
but
though
he'll
we've
be
got
perfect.
a Turkish community, and he'll fit
What
right in.
about Samu Aguiwoa in Portugal? If I probably mispronounced.
Oh yeah. The what do they call him?
Porto? Is it Porto? Samu.
Yeah, he's that Porto. Yeah, Samu. Yeah. He reminds me of Jackson. I'm not gonna lie to you. a young Jackson. But you know what it is? I think Frank likes him because he's tall again. He's physical. He's busy. At the moment, he's having a good purple patch in Portugal. Again, that league, I don't really trust it. But he's 21, so the age profile, a lot. It's not just us that are looking at him. Arsenal are looking at him. Chelsea are looking at him. I think Newcastle as well. There's a few teams that are looking at.
Rob McKenzie said, beginning of this season, who's head of a 10-man recruitment, coaches, right? He said, we are not looking to bring any more young players in. We want ready-made players for the squad, basically. So I'm thinking 23 years and upwards. Although I would take Nathaniel Brown. He's 22.
Akalush, as you said, Adrian, before, he's the baller.
Akalush, I want Akalush. That's the player I want. I want
and Brown.
I'll take Akalush. I'll take Nathaniel Brown. I'll take those players. I think those players.
I think if you get those two, if you're looking for the really high, top-notch player on the left wing on loan, maybe it might have to be a Slovenia or someone like that, on maybe a loan to buy or something like that. Of City, even if you had to get Marmouchian, who's a striker, more of a striker. I mean, like, I can think if he's not getting game time, City might not want to sell, but you could take him as a loan and get us through to the end of the season. You know,
who's the kid of Everton?
Some players will shine, although it's fatal buying players that have good World Cups.
No, it's true. I just would love a midfielder. I think midfield for me, creativity. Akalush. Obviously, he plays on the right wing, but he can play as a right 10 or 8, whatever you call it. So he doesn't really live there, does he? So he's left-footed. He's someone that can slot right in. But I forgot this guy's name. I think his name is Barosh.
From Atletico Madrid.
Yeah. It's a long shot. It's a long shot. It's a long shot. But I just thought, like,
23 is their best player. They say though, Barrios.
They wanted 70 million for him.
Like, I'm saying, look, if we're ambitious, like, we just need to test some of these clubs that don't have financial clout. Even like players like Edison or players like what's his face? That plays for Roma. Black guy, Kone. Even like players like Kone. I know Still loves Kone. But I'm saying, like, Kone, for me, like, he's got a bit of everything. And we should be able to say, look, how much do you want from Roma? How much do you want from 30, 40 million? 45? 50? Cool, no problem. The best of the rest outside of Europe, we should be dominating. We should be bullying them. If Premier League, like, everyone's fighting over one player, we should be able to go outside the league and say, look, all right, cool. We can't compete with Bayern Munich. We can't compete with Borussia Dortmund. Who's next? Oh, Hoffenheim. Who's your best player? Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, RB Leipzig. Who's your best player? Oh, Frankfurt. Who's your best player? And we should be putting down silly amounts of money. And as you said, Rob McKenzie, if he's about that life and he's 23 years old and above, but have proven experience and can improve our team and work into our first team, we need to be going and bullying Napoli, Fiorentina, AC Milan. I don't care. You should just be saying, look, I want your best and we're taking it and there's nothing much you can do. Italy, I give it a little blind because I know most of them are run by mafia. Do you know what I mean? Most of they're not a joke, innit? But the rest of Europe, we should be able to bully, in my opinion, and be able to take their best and say, look, all right, cool. They've had a good season, 22, 23. I think they're on an upper trajectory. Let's get them into our midfield. Let's get them onto our wings. Let's get them into our strike force and let's improve on all fronts. That's just me.
Right.
I would
to get you on. We've gone on a lot longer than I thought, but we will finish shortly once we get the final words from these guys. Get over to Spurs Kings TV. 185 of you watching this now, which is brilliant. Right. I hope you all have a fantastic Christmas. Yeah. And don't forget, please hit that red subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. Subscribe to the channel. Please give the video a thumbs up because it helps the algorithm. And if you want a membership, we do memberships for £2 if you're interested. You know, you can become a member as well. Ash, how many are we getting in January?
Oh, how many are we getting in? Good question. City did 5. We'll do 3. We could do
When
3.
was the last time that we got 3 in, Ash? In January.
I don't know,
Never.
but listen,
Never.
listen. This is the standard I'm holding. Look, they came in. They're having all the big talk. They're talking so much smack. So I'm like, all right, cool. So let's see what they're doing. I'm saying 3 players. I'm saying they're gonna get a midfielder in, a left winger, and possibly a left back. So I'm saying up to 3, man. I'm saying up to 3, bro.
Eugene?
I mean, I think we're gonna transfer, like we're gonna buy 1 and loan 1. So I say 2. But I would go, call me crazy, I would go to Atleti. I'm saying give us Barrios. I'm gonna give you Kuti. I'm done with Romero.
Yeah.
Just give him Romero. I would make that trade in a minute because there are a lot of good defenders out there. There are a lot of good defenders.
He likes Bentancur. He likes Bentancur. He likes him.
Oh, both of them. 2 for 1. Kuti and Bentancur. Because Bentancur to me is worth 10 million, maybe 15. Like he's done. So just send them both.
Right,
and
we have a
top 8.
We have a 25-man squad now with 2 players in each position. That's 22. The third goalkeeper is 23. That leaves you 2 extra positions, right? I want them as midfielders. I'm happy with 8 midfielders. That's the engine room of the team. That's where you either win or lose battles in midfield, which we failed to miserably this season. But I don't mind the extra midfielders. So when Decky and Madison are back, it's not a bother. So I would bring Akluish in. I'll bring Nathan Brown in. That's the midfield and left back. As for the left winger, I think there's quite a few options out there. Even if you're going Diamandi or Gotts or, you know, even I know you want Slovenia. He's still an upgrade on what we got, though.
It's better than Oliver. Slovenia's better than Oliver.
Yeah,
but not for 70 million. Even not for.
No, not for 70.
No. Listen, if they get the menu,
but I think that's a summer buy. I don't think we could.
Yeah.
Do you know what? If 70 million, if they budge on 70 million, I'd say do it. But I don't think they will. So I think we have to wait till the summer.
It depends. If the rumor is true today that Semenyo only wants City, you've got to go there with Doko, Cherky, Bob, whatever. If he goes
one
there,
of them have to go.
that pushes Slovenia further down the pecking order. Spurs then let them get Semenyo, make this maybe their later deal in the window, get Lakushin and Nathaniel Brown in early, and then sort of go. Well, we ain't paying 70 mil. Now you've got 5 wingers. He wants game time for the World Cup. Or go to Real Madrid and say, you ain't getting regular.
Listen.
Can we loan Rodrigo? Can we loan Rodrigo off you?
Adrian, I think Dragushin's gone. Personally, I think he's gone.
Not to Rome,
I think Tell, Matthias Tell. I think Matthias Tell is gone. I think he's gone. Matthias Tell, I think he's gone. I think, look, he should have started a long time. He's not getting the starts he needs. Do you know what I'm saying? He's probably talking to Frank. Why am I not starting? Why is Richarlison starting ahead of me? You said I'm a striker. Why is he keep? You're not even playing. You're not starting me. At least Olivert's getting starts. He's not getting starts at all. So I think Tell is gone. I think he's gone on loan. I don't think he's happy. And that's why we're not hearing too much from him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Johnson is gone.
Johnson's gone. That's 3 players, bro. Do you understand? 3 players. Basuma's gone. Basuma's gone. Yeah, possibly.
Davies.
Who knows? So that's what I'm saying. He could get 3 or 4 players. I know there's a few players coming back from loan. We're gonna have to find them a new club, whatever. But that's the youngsters. I don't include them. But I think there's a 3 or 4 senior players that can go. And bro, we need to be ruthless. We need to be chopping up contracts if
Do you
need be.
think Sarr will go as well?
Sar's not getting much game time. It's crazy.
Because he favours Bergvall and Gray.
Yeah. Possible. I don't know if it'll happen in January though. That's the only thing. I don't know if it'll happen in January, but
Still don't get it,
Unless-
Ash. Like, why isn't getting
Gray was
why isn't getting
converted
playing
to
time?
a DM and
Up to the manager rates them, man.
alongside Bergvall.
But he
I love
did.
the
He
man
did well
great.
at the 10. I don't know.
yeah, I thought because that's what he wanted to do, that high dueling, high pressing,
Yep.
like having Sarr as almost like a battering ram.
Mm.
That's what I thought he was gonna thrive on that, but
This
for
is why
whatever
I don't
reason.
think. This is why come summer, I don't think we're keeping Paulina. I don't.
And
think
here's
we're
no, I don't think we're keeping him. Here's a controversial take.
keeping- Go on.
You ready for
What?
it? Yeah,
Yeah, go on.
centre forward.
Harry Kane.
No, centre forward leaving.
Oh, all of them. I'm okay if all of them
Richie?
are gone.
No, I'm saying which one though. I'm saying which one.
Oh,
Richie or Solanke?
Solanke. I reckon Solanke will leave. I think
is he
he'll
still
sign.
alive? I don't know where he's at. He could be dead for all we know. And they're just lying to us.
I think it depends who's the manager, but I think there's a possibility Solanke gets sold.
I would sell all of them. The Richarlison, Solanke, Moani is not for
Start
me.
again. This is
Just
the
get rid
start
of
again.
all of them. I
I
want
want
to
to keep Moani and
Solanke
Solanke and
and a
sell
top
Richie.
striker.
Richie's got good stats this season though, compared to
care.
other
Sorry,
strikers.
Adrian.
I know,
I
no,
cannot- I despise him.
I'm not keeping him. I don't want him, right? I don't trust the fact that he can maintain this. I mean, he's streaky at best, and then he gets an injury.
Very purple patchy.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And outside of that, outside of his goals, what does he offer?
Nothing.
Do you know what I mean? He's not even like he's a physical player. He's more an aggressive player, helter skelter. Do you know what I mean? A chaotic player. If you're physical, that means you can bully the defender. He can't bully a defender. Do you know what I'm saying? Like on the ball, he treats the ball like a hot potato. He wants to get rid of it. Like he doesn't look after it. He doesn't protect the ball. So as much as people love him, even in the air, I thought, yeah, in the air, he's going to be a demon. So let's just cross the ball into the box. He's not even doing that. Do you know what I mean? Penalties. He can't even take a
I've seen
penalty.
Solanke bully defenders though. I've seen Solanke bully. I see him bully fucking Gabriel in the game against Arsenal, like Solanke. I mean, like, I would keep Solanke and Moani, but Moani might not want to stay at the end of the season anyway. He might want.
I don't know what Solanke's coming back. I'll be honest with you. I just don't know what's like. So after that ankle up, he needs another surgery as well. Like he tried to avoid
going around the Liverpool game that come from the Tunnel Club,
Jesus.
and John Cheeseman from the Cheese Room, he said the diver said that Solanke's got to have another operation. Well, Frank never mentioned it today in his presser.
That's
And,
so crazy. He was never hurt before joining us, and now, just like everybody else,
It's that Angela,
mad.
bro. I'm telling you, a couple guys got mashed up, bro. Got run
Bro,
into the ground.
We're
I'm telling
cursed.
you,
We need to
couple men
sacrifice
got
the
mashed
chicken. We got to do like one of those like voodoo like things, a goat or a chicken. We got to do one of those because it's mad. People are dropping like flies. Everybody's dropping.
Well, we
like
lost
crazy.
their centre backs and goalkeeper this year, and this year we lose their front four. Song goes, then you've got Madders, Kulusevski, and Solanke are out.
That's down to the club.
I
That's
mean,
down
you
to the
can
club.
make it up.
We knew we needed to get reinforcements for Son. We need
And
that from
Vicario's
the-
got to go too.
Yeah,
for
Vic's
me.
got to go. Yeah, Vic's
By
got to
the way,
go.
There was a rumoured link with
Again?
Verbergen at Brighton. Is he any good, the goalkeeper at Brighton?
He's decent.
He's
Apart
not
from
bad.
the
He's not-
aging Barcelona goalkeeper.
The Slavia goalkeeper, we bought the wrong keeper. We got Kinski, their number one keeper, who is the Czech national team keeper, was quality from what I saw.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's got a lot of shots. He's got a lot of shots.
So was Kingsky's dad. He was goalkeeper for Czechoslovakia.
No, the
Verbruggen,
current
that's-
one.
The Bruggen.
Mm.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah,
it's
Bruggen's
been a
alright.
great show. You two know you're good friends of the show. You're always welcome on our shows. You know that. You know the way we run shows. We're pretty chill and balanced here, and we have a go when we have to have a go, but we don't get toxic just for the sake of it. So, Ash, we need to get you on when our shows are not clashing and when it's more opportunistic for both of us. Like, we'll get you back on.
course,
We'll
of
get
course, of
Eugene
course.
back on. You're both always welcome on the shows. Want to
Thanks
wish you
for
all
having
a
me.
Merry Christmas. We got 196 viewing us now. It's always the way when you're about to end a show. Must be all coming in for Eugene's neck of the woods now, I should think. So, yeah, well, you can find us, guys. I mean, thank you all for watching us on various platforms. You can find us like every Tuesday. Friday, the show goes out an hour later for you American guys because I have Alan Kravitz on with Steve Silver. as well. Yeah, so you can find us on shows. Just look up Spurs Diehards. You'll find us on Facebook, YouTube, XCOM. You can find us there. Like I say, please give the subscribe button a hit. Smash that. Give the video a thumbs up. Get over to Ash Matty on Spurs Kings TV. They do fantastic content over there. He's very detailed on his tactics. Even I don't go into the depth and put the videos up that he puts up with players, which is really good. And it's good that different shows there have got a different tone. They approach things from a different angle because it varies it all for all.
Yeah, I agree.
Just leaves me to thank my guests and Gary Ward for coming on earlier as well. Get over there to Gary Ward. I think he does similar work to you, Ash, actually, with players because he's well involved with youth games and things like that at Spurs, as is Callum Stubbs as well. With that, I'm going to thank all you for your comments, for your loyal support. Wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year from everyone at Spurs Diehards and obviously all the guests. We hope you have a fantastic Christmas, and I'm going to play you out with this.
We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. Lily white and navy blue. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. Lily white and navy blue.